ready. Go hit the grocery store next weekend. It's coming.
Let me give my forecast. People, it'll be the same thing we just had now. There will be no snow next week. Count on it.
Kind of looks like snow to me.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Yes, and welcome to another edition of 757 Sports Talk here on Coville Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe, and always interact with us, with the Coach Ed Young, the guy that always is going to deliver a fearless forecast for all of you out there. I am Matthew Hatfield. Coach, good morning, and greetings to the final day of January as we get ready to turn the calendar to February, beginning tomorrow. And you can go ahead and tell the audience out there how little snow we're going to get, because I know you've already got it declared and proclaimed, and the grocery stores will tell you otherwise. As I actually visited one Friday night after our OD women's basketball game, and the shelves were emptier than last weekend.
Good morning to all. The coach greets all. You know, I'm not overly concerned with weather. I think we will. I'll change my forecast. We will get some snow. It won't be the 12, 14, 24 inches. Probably an inch or two, depending on where you're living. I do want to address the stupidity of eliminating things off the shelf. I wish uneducated people would stay home on forecast. I don't understand why you would buy 5 loaves of bread, 3 gallons of milk, 16 cases of water, as much toilet paper as you can stuff somewhere in the bathroom. Why? First of all, if you were to buy 8 cases of baked beans, I could see buying a lot of toilet paper. People are not doing that.
If you're buying 8 cases of baked beans, I'm not going to be in your house. That's for sure. Go ahead.
Right. Why would you buy all that bread? What? It's the most asinine thing to watch. And yet the people keep doing it and doing it. And a second thing, why are we chastising and blasting the local TV channels' weather forecast? The meteorologists understand how to study the science of weather.
Who's the we? Who are these we? Who's blasting them?
If you would look on Facebook on the different channel 3, 13, and 10, and they put down the weather forecast, and then you read the comments, it is utterly, I mean, people are cussing at the guy. You don't know what you're doing.
They shouldn't cuss them. But I will tell you this real quickly. I poke fun, not making fun of with malice or harm or with venom. But it is funny to me they can have 14 different forecast models. And the reason they have 14 different forecast models to project anywhere from 1 inch to 2 feet of snow is so that afterwards they can gloat and brag and tell you, see, we were right. We had it predicted we'd get 2.1 inches of snow, whatever it might be. That's like if we decide for next week's Super Bowl, we got 14 different scores for you between the Seahawks and Patriots. I mean, of course you're going to get one of them right eventually. So that's my only thing about it. But I don't do it with it doesn't bother me or stir me up that much to where I'm going to spew unnecessary words and foul words. But there are some people that take it to that level. But I've had a few people run into me this week that said, tell your partner to shut his big yap and stop saying there's going to be no snow. So there are some people that are just as angry with the weathermen and gals as they are you, one Edward V. Young.
Well, you can tell those people where the sun don't shine and they know what they can do. I'm going to say what I want to say. That's why we're on here. And also, if they really want to say something, I'm not hard to find. And if they bank everything on what I say, once again, the uneducated masses need to be shut up and stay in their basements and play on their computer and so forth
Okay.
and so on. And by the way, in case you haven't noticed, a 30-point loss where you do nothing correct will also
let's not go too in depth about that, because we might have you start spewing some of those words from the social media comment pages that could get us off the air. So, but drop as they like to say, drop the low, drop the Addy, tell them where you're at so they can find you and bang on your door and egg your house like it's Halloween.
I have enough nut jobs around
turn
here.
the lights off, which is so Scrooge of you.
And by the way, the snow you saw at Hatfield's place was him shaking his head hard.
No, it wasn't. It was not dandruff. Stop that. Stop it.
That was AI generated. So
it was not AI generated. That was real snow. And by the way, I see it's going to start as early as around 12 noon Eastern today as we're signing off. So when we get done, since we moved our women's basketball game with ODU up a day, unfortunately, the outcome was not what we preferred. We thought 30-point loss was bad. Try losing a 17-point lead in the third quarter and falling in overtime at home. That also stings like a bite on the arm. Hurts. But we've got a lot to do on this program. We got a couple of special guests that will join us. We're going to be talking with Princess Anne basketball coach Greg Montgomery. I think it's his second full year at the helm, former Virginia Wesleyan standout. His team swept the defending Class 5 state champion Stallions, winning 53-48 last night. They're now 15-4 overall. The 11 o'clock hour, we got Mr. Xcellence. That's Brandon Scott. Yes. They have a Virginia Championship Wrestling show coming up at the Norfolk Masonic Temple on Granby Street. I think it's a week from today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, February 7th.
Yeah, Ed's got all the details. Look, I mean, see, when you bring up the wrestling people's face, you see Ed starts to jump into the screen. He gets so excited about it. We would nickname Ed for wrestling Mr. Excitable. So Mr. Xcellence will talk with us and Mr. Excitable over there. And then we have a couple of neat games we're going to do today. We're going to be playing Take Your Pick on 5 select college basketball games today, which include John Calipari against his former team and the projected number 1 and number 2 picks in this year's NBA draft coming up, right? Because it is now 2026. As it'll be Kansas against BYU. That means Darren Peterson against AJ Dabansa tonight. That might be the feature game today in college hoops. A lot of good ones today. So we're starting to turn our head to college basketball because the calendar's turning to February, which means it's a month away from March and the Madness. And we got some high school scores we'll dive into from last night here in just a moment. And we'll play Buy or Sell, a Super Bowl edition of Buy or Sell with some props. Some props. You say, what kind of props? We're going to go through like the rushing yards for every player. No, we're going to give you some props like, for example, a quarterback will score the first touchdown in the game. You buying or selling that? Things like that. You know, Ed likes will it be heads or tails? Will there be a 2-point conversion? We'll see if we have that among our mix of things. And, oh, by the way, we also have, before we sign off, probably sandwich it in between buy or sell and take your pick, conversation that I had with Tuscarora guard Colin Byrd. I'm not sure his team has played in the last week or so because a lot of teams around the state, Ed, and I mean a lot of teams, Northern Virginia, Roanoke, the western part, middle part of the state, even in Richmond, have not played any basketball this week, and they might not play any basketball next week. And someone told me they're snowed out of school already in Floyd County till next Thursday, and we haven't even gotten our second batch of snow yet. But we did catch up with Colin Byrd of Tuscarora. He's a guard up in Nova, one of the best guards in the state. He committed to play in the SWAC at Grambling State. So you'll hear his conversation with us here before we bid adieu on this final January 2026 episode of 757 Sports Talk. So anything you'd like to add here before we cue up a little bit of music and go through some scores of note across the 757, sir?
Now, let's get into it. Let's inform the masses out there what's coming up. And by the way, it will not snow at noon.
When's it going to snow? What time? Give me a time.
I'm going to say 2:36.
Okay. 2:36 is when you're calling for it to snow. I'm going to write that down. So when it snows at 1:11 p.m., what do? Do I send you a care package that has some bad objects that will send you packing? What do I do then when you're wrong yet again?
Now, if you're wrong, you're wrong.
Well, you tend to be wrong from time to time. High school basketball from Friday night, as we touched on it a moment ago. We're going to talk with Greg Montgomery of Princess Anne, which won 53-48 over the Green Run Stallions. They got 17 points from their standout guard, Isaiah Goodson, also in the Beach District on Friday night. They recognized the 2001. I didn't know about this. This actually someone brings up here on the screen here, Ed. They said it was a great game until a fan disruption at the end of the game. I didn't know about that. We could actually bring that up to Coach Montgomery. I hate to hear about that, though, unfortunately. Lancetown and Salem, Friday night, it was 68-57. The Eagles beat the Sun Devils. They were down early in that game, but Damian Robinson leads the way with 18 points. 5 dunks from Alon Walker inside, the big man, for Dwight Robinson's crew. 16 points and 5 boards for Alon Walker as well. And that one for the Lancetown Eagles. Also in the Beach District on Friday night, it was Kempsville, a winner over the Bayside Marlins as they got it done. The score of that one, it was not 70-50. I think that was reported wrong. It was actually 60-50. Christian Lynch with 13 points to lead the way for the Chiefs. Cox, a winner over First Colonial, 57-49 as the Falcons get it done in that one. And you also had from the Beach District on Friday night, Tallwood, a winner over Ocean Lakes, 47-43. All right, no real shockers there. I think Ed's nodding his head a lot. Here's one that probably catches your eye, Ed, in the Eastern District. Kamani Johnson, 19 points, and Maury knocks off Granby 62-46. Yes, the Commodores win over the Comets, who last week knocked off Lake Taylor. Didn't have Deshaun Spellman. I'm not really sure why he was not in uniform or in the lineup for Granby, one of their standouts. And Granby also lost this week pretty handily to Norview. So the Comets, who were starting to pick up steam, had the inside track for a 4 seed. Now they go behind, I think, Woodside in that Region 5B power ratings or rankings to a 5 seed as they drop that one to their Eastern District rival and Norfolk rival over there in the 757. Norview, a winner. They stay hot, 76-46 over the Manor Mustangs. And also from the Eastern District on Friday night, you had Lake Taylor over Booker T. Washington, 60-26. Thoughts?
Well, when getting back to in Norfolk games, I really don't look at any of those as upset, or we might say that, well, that wasn't expected. It's that kind of a battle. And Granby, I thought beginning of the year was going to be a very good ball club if they just kind of mold themselves a little bit. Make sure that touch of discipline is in there. They're very talented. Levi Wall has done a good job in the 2 years that he's been there with them. Of course, we know Lake Taylor, I think in the end will be there. Booker T's the one that's still struggling a little bit for of the Norfolk schools. Of course, Norview's doing well, and Maury's not quite where they're normally at, but a team that'll be, I think, there. I have something to say about who's moving on. I'm a little perturbed when you told me or you mentioned about the fan disruption at the end of Green Run and a PA game. I just don't even want to give credence to that kind of stuff because we don't know exactly what happened involved. It's usually never hopefully it was not the players. And it was a good game, period. But
before you go further on that, is there something we can do about this? Because we had an issue with Norview and Lake Taylor a couple weeks ago. Should they start putting some type of rope? I know it shouldn't get to this point, but on the edges of the courts. And I look like you're saying, but in all seriousness, we don't want any players or anybody to be caused harm that's on the court. I'm not saying that it has to be done, but is there anything that can be done by administrators or officials to prevent any players, coaches, or even the referees from being hurt? Because we don't want to see something escalate to a point where it's now becoming front page news on a statewide or national scale, if you will.
Well, again, we've kind of hammered this in the past. You cannot allow rushing the court after a win. Basketball, it's really tough because the crowd is right there, and the urge to come out. Football, you got to climb out of the stands and run a little bit to get on the field. Whereas basketball, you're right there. You cannot allow standing. You either got to get a seat or you got to get out of the gym. You cannot allow standing, period. Guys like yourself, media that are trying to get pictures, trying to watch a game close to get all your stats or whatever. They don't need to have people all over them, breathing down their neck right in front of them. Can't see the game. Do not allow standing room only type situations. And some places do that. You can't do that. How do you stop rushing the court? Well, you make the announcement. I hate to say do like the colleges do. You find schools because high schools don't have money like the colleges do.
Right.
I don't want it to happen, which a lot of people will do, schools will do, eliminate fans completely. Many areas do that, no fans. That eliminates the opportunity to bring in money. It hurts the majority of good fans who are there to watch the game, cheer on the team, who are not rushing to court. It hurts those ones. I would say a heavier police presence, but that costs money. And then the idea there is you got to start grabbing normally youngsters, put them in handcuffs. That's not good, but you got to stop it in some manner. I just wish people just use common sense. Stop using the games as a platform for you to do the shenanigans, whether it's disputes among the neighborhoods or whatever, or just to show because you think you can do it. Just don't do it. It just takes away so much from good games. And that's usually when it happens, when you have a game that's highly touted, two very good teams, and which draws people, right. And then some youngsters, and it's mostly young kids. I hate to say it. I don't want to be the old man saying it, but I am telling it's not the adults running on the court and swinging and fighting people. It's usually youngsters.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Again, there was no word of a rushing the court by the fans for Princeton winning. They beat them earlier this year at Green Run, but we did get that word from one of our viewers out there. In the Southeastern District, Kings Fork over Lakeland, 87-59 as they win rather impressively. Nansemond River prevails over Western Branch at home, 66-43 as Joe Hassel's team keeps rolling. 25 points from Teron Atwater, who we saw hit that game-winning shot against Kings Fork earlier in January. Great Bridge fell in an out-of-district matchup to Norfolk Christian. Private School wins 62-55 over them. Indian River all over Hickory, 84-30 as the Braves have started to pick up mojo after they lost that game to Kempsville a few weeks ago. Now they win rather comfortably behind 13 points from Jordan Shepard, 12 apiece from Chris Edwards and LJ Luckett in that game for Coach Clyde Spellman's Braves over there at Indian River. And Oscar Smith comfortably over Phoebus on the road in an out-of-district matchup, 74-41, as it was a big effort from one Kelly King for LeVar Griffin's Tigers in that matchup. I did skip over one more. Also Deep Creek, a winner over Grassfield. Craig Frost's team gets it done behind 21 points from Jace Bailey, 66-53 Hornets over the Grizzlies there, Ed.
I think pretty much from what I know about the Southeastern District this year, all according to form, I think the better, stronger teams won as people are making their march towards playoff time. Good morning to who is that?
We got LeVar Cooper out there. Good morning, Mr. Cooper.
All right, Mr. Cooper. Yeah.
Yep.
That pretty much went according to plan, and playoffs around February, the third weekend in February, I think, started regional. So people are mounting that drive to get to that time.
No doubt. And in the Bay Rivers, a couple of scores to pass along. We don't want to bring up Ed's too much. It was 81-50. Tigers of Tab got the job done over Smithfield. Bruton over Gloucester, and a close one at Gloucester, 47-43. Panthers win it. And Grafton over Poquoson, 50-49. The Peninsula District played on Thursday night. The big highlight game there was Hampton all over Denby in that matchup, 65-40. As Eric Brown's Crabbers were led by Jawan Tucker. They were mighty, mighty impressive from start to finish in that matchup. And a couple of quick girls scores. We'll go through them. Some of them, we don't have them all in front of us, but just give you a couple of the highlight ones here for a moment while we have time. Prentice Ann girls all over Green Run. Micah Ojo with another double-double, 15 points, 13 rebounds as Darnell Dozier's crew stays unbeaten. They're 19-0. Manor all over Norview Ed, 85-12. Salem girls beat Lansdowne 64-30. And you had Deep Creek over Grassfield, 39-26. Kings Fork behind Riley Height, the East Carolina signee, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 5 steals for her. They dispatched Lakeland 79-23. And one of the closer scores was First Colonial over Cox, 37-35. Do want to shout out to Indian River Sierra Selby, 32 points, 17 steals, and 11 assists. She's been balling all year long, putting up major numbers, 74-24 over Hickory on the girls' side. I don't know what they'll do come playoff time. I don't think they're viewed as a factor in 5 to the extent that the defending champs in Princess Anne or Menchville are, but she's putting up numbers that I think she'll be at the top of the scouting report, whoever plays them.
Yeah, hats off to that and her performance there. I do want to backtrack. Mm-hmm. Yes, we got blasted by Tab. I don't want to overlook it. Tab is should get a little bit of a shout out here. They executed fantastically on offense. Of course, defense sucked. Jamie Mueller, 27 points, if I'm not mistaken, 11 of 14 from the field. Did not miss a three-pointer. Played tremendous. Lefty senior.
He didn't do that to you the first time when you beat him at home, did he?
He had 17 points the first time.
Okay, so he did the first time.
And we had beaten him at home. They just executed well. They shot 54% for the game, 47 from three. I think it was 90 from the foul line. Out-rebounded us, out everything. I think they only had 6 turnovers total. I think we had 6 in the first quarter. They just did everything right. And as the game went on, we tried to make adjustments. We got in early foul trouble, which here we go again. I got to sit people because we're out of position, and I didn't want to lose people early, and that kind of messed it up. So, but I want to give credit to Tab, Bobby Hendricks, head coach. Also, guess who I got the pleasure to talk to before the game for a few minutes?
Well, make it quick because we got Greg Montgomery waiting coming after break. Who you got?
One and only Doug Baggett.
Oh, Doug Baggett was there. What's he up to now since he retired?
Yeah, he came in there, and unfortunately, I hated to see us play so bad. Of course, I know he's happy for Tab and for Bobby, one of his former players. So got a chance to speak with Doug for a while. He looked good. Fishing is doing him well. And, it was really good to see Doug.
So you said he's been fishing. He's just been hanging out, and he's been, I'm sure, getting prepped and going to the store to get all the bread, the eggs, and milk because he knows we got Snowmageddon coming, which Ed still thinks, we're not going to get much snow at all. But coming up next, like I said before, there's no business like snow business. We got Greg Montgomery to talk about his PA Cavaliers. They're eyeing the number 1 seed in their win last night over Green Run. Not only swept them, but gives them a chance for that in Region 5A. We'll talk about his transition from assistant to head coach a year ago and how things are going for him, the former Marlin, now the head man of Princess Anne. It's all coming your way here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. After this quick timeout, back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
At Rush Soccer, our love of the game and the community we create doesn't stop when we leave the pitch or when the season ends. We are more than an individual player, team, club, or league. We are a truly global community of athletes, parents, coaches, professionals, and fans. We believe that youth sports and the pathway to a lifelong love of soccer have the power to form deep, meaningful connections that will fundamentally shape our players and those in our community. We believe that what we feel is the key to what we can achieve. Feel the pride. Feel the confidence. Feel the legacy. Feel the connection. Feel the trust. Feel the acceptance. Feel the purpose. Feel the difference. Feel the rush.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and that evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
And we welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk here on Colin Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. We have a special guest with us. He is the head basketball coach of the Princess Anne Cavaliers. I believe they're now 15-4 overall, if I'm not right. He'll sure correct me. 53-48 as they sweep the Green Run Stallions on Friday night. We say hello and congrats to Greg Montgomery, former all-beach guard and standout for Dave Macedo's Virginia Wesleyan Marlins. Coach, thanks for coming on. Congrats. How's life treating you?
All is well. Appreciate you having me. And all is well, man. Just, in full swing, with the season and, all of the things. So, but everything's been good.
No doubt about it. Well, I got to get started, though, with that. I brought it up. You played for Dave Macedo at Virginia Wesleyan. And, of course, you get into high school coach and you're an assistant first with the Cavaliers. Your pops was a coach, by the way, folks that have watched him roam the sidelines. And you got a chance to also help coach your little brother there, Tim Montgomery Jr. But tell me what it was like as you transitioned from being a guy on the beach to playing at Virginia Wesleyan. And, of course, Coach Macedo's still ticking and got the Marlins in contention, as always, in the ODAC.
For sure. It all dates back. Yesterday, I actually seen Macedo, so he was at the game, the Green Run game, and it kind of just reminded me when he was, around recruiting me. I took a different path. I ended up going to Morgan State out of high school, went there for a year, ended up leaving and coming back home and going to Virginia Wesleyan, where I got to play for Coach Macedo and won a bunch of games together, 2 Sweet 16s, 1 Elite 8, 1 Final 4, fantastic coach. Learned a lot from him. I think anybody that played under him or plays for him has the ability to be a decent head coach if you desire to, because he just does things the right way. Teaches us how to prepare, how to go about our business. So it was amazing playing for him. And then I spent 2 years coaching with him right after I graduated. Coached there for 2 years. After that, I kind of wanted to see what high school was about. College was pretty demanding. I was a young kid. I wanted to test the waters. So Coach Kofer, who was doing a great job at PA, had made a post, commented under his post. Princess Anne is home. My little brother was there at the time. He ended up leaving, though, and transferring and going to Portsmouth Christian. But I still went over to Princess Anne and was JV coach for 6 years. And Coach Kofer did a fantastic job. No longer there. I assumed the role. Princess Anne is the only place that I could see myself coaching at. It's home for me. It's where I went to school. Family's there. We're here.
Yeah, now before we dive in on your team and your key players, and Coach Young peppers you with the hard-hitting coaching questions here, I want to know, you mentioned you learned a lot from Coach Macedo there. What did you learn the most that's helped you on your journey here as you transitioned into the coaching realm at the high school level, first as an assistant and now as the head coach, because it became your program, and Princess Anne is right there in the mix of things here to have a chance to compete for a region title this year and a state tournament berth?
Just really like the preparation, and that's from, preseason preparation, the work that has to be done in the preseason, leading up to all of this. And then Macedo he was amazing at preparation, like in-season preparation and how we go about our scouting and watching film. And we watch tons of film at Princess Anne. And I think that's the only way to be fully prepared to play teams like Green Run. So just the preparation piece, I think, is got to be number one amongst other things.
Coach Montgomery, also known as Coach Fee to people out there. I guess he'll tell us why about that in a moment. 53-48 over the Green Run Stallions as they sweep them for the season. 15-4. They have their eyes on potentially a number one seed in Region 5A. It's 757 Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you got a question or a comment to Coach Montgomery, you can always hit our chat line too on the comment box through YouTube, Facebook, IG, Twitter, X, all the different platforms. Ed?
Hey, Coach, congrats so far on the success, young success that you're having. I know it ain't over yet. You want to try to get deep into those playoffs and
Absolutely
get that opportunity to be up in Richmond. I do got to ask you this: being a member of the Basketball Coach Association of Virginia on executive board, are you a member?
I am not, and I need to be. And I got so many texts, and I got to do my due diligence. Can you send me the link when we get off of here?
Yeah, we got to get you. We got to get all the young upstart coaches on here because, Greg, it's a tremendous association. Not because I'm on it. It's the reason I'm on it is I believe that it's very strong for the benefit of all the coaches. And we're trying to work close with the VHSL in decision making for things that affect us as coaches.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm one of the oldsters on my way out. Eventually, at some point, who knows when that is? You still got another probably 30 years to go. So we need guys like you on there. So please do consider joining.
No, this is Ed's way of getting his 25 cents in the mail later, Greg. To make it pop out.
No, I was supposed to do it a long time. I talked to Mr. Chad Edwards, Mr. Edwards, and I was supposed to do it a while ago. So shame on me.
Well, and here's the big caveat of that. If you yourself would get an award or your players to get all district, we do give out awards, but the coach has to be a member for any of the kids to get it.
Absolutely.
And if PA gets blanked, well, we got to say your coach is not a member. It's not our fault.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That's only $25 is not big. Now for this dude here, he ain't putting money up for nothing.
No. Since you brought it up, Ed, we can take it out of your big check. You can help him out with that, or buy him a couple of sandwiches at one of the local restaurants here, something like that.
We got it. We got to get it done.
Yeah, we definitely got to get. And I know it's tough doing in season because you got so many other things on your list.
And that's what it's been. But I'll get it right.
Right. We'll get you straight on that. Now, I got to ask you, as the old coach and the young coach, when did you, in your mind, now your dad was a coach, very successful. When did you kind of say to yourself, you know what, I want to do that. When I get older, that's exactly what I want to do. Because a lot of times you youngsters, you're looking at NBA and whatever. But what did it formulate in your mind?
To be honest, I probably didn't think about doing it. Macedo is probably responsible for that. I was in my exit meeting for college. And, we were talking about the different possibilities. Did I want to attempt to go overseas and do this and that? And I just wasn't into playing beyond college. And Macedo, I think he threw it out there that, I think you'd be a good coach. And, if I wanted to be on board, then, I had a spot on board. And I think it just comes from him, probably observing over the years. And, he knows who has a decent basketball mind. So I think he saw a little potential, and he's the one who threw it out there. And I definitely jumped at it. But I never, growing up, I would never had a desire to be like, yo, I'm a coach one day. Like that was never a thing for me.
And you make a good point where coaches, because I've done the same thing where you talk to a player towards the end and say, hey, I think you have the mental makeup to do this. And we don't say that to everybody.
No, for sure.
And it's some guys just don't have the temperament to do it. And it's a lot, because it's a lot more than just showing up. It's a whole lot to do, as you well know, what you got to deal with. The second thing is when you went from assistant to head coach, which is the normal path, what did you notice that you had to change, if anything, about yourself and your delivery now to players?
I had to be the bad. I'm not the bad guy, but I had to be the bad guy. In this role, you got to be the bad guy. For 6 years, Coach Kofor was the bad guy, and I was the one who kind of went behind him, and I'm saying the same things, but I can just say it in a different tone, different. I could just have different conversations. But as the guy, I think you gotta, and everybody has their different styles, but I definitely had to be a little bit more of the mean guy, or however you want to word it, but just more of that, and allow my assistants to be the other guy, the good cop. So I think that's probably the biggest change as far as my coaching stance. I still believe in the same things, still preach the same things, but my approach and my tone and all that stuff just probably goes up a little bit.
See, on this show, I'm the good guy, Ed's the bad guy. So if you ever need advice on how to be the bad guy, he can fill you in on that all the time. But as we move things into your team this year, go ahead, Ed. Go ahead. You got a rebuttal.
I have absolutely no problem playing that role. Been doing it most of my life, so I don't have any problem. And for people that really don't understand, and what you're saying is, as the head coach, you're responsible for everything.
Yeah.
Assistant coach, you're responsible for a lot, but you're in the background.
For
you
sure.
can give out a million suggestions and the head coach takes none of them, or he takes all of them and they don't work, and it's on him as an assistant. But when you're the head coach, you have to do that now. And as head coach, we have to instill, or the discipline starts with us.
Absolutely.
And we do get on the players. And of course, when I look for an assistant, I want somebody that's going to be loyal and back me. But at the same time, if I'm chastising kids, I don't need you to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
You got to go back and clean it up, fix
Absolutely.
it. And I always say, be careful. You're not trying to be their friends, but we want our players to know.
Yeah.
All of us, you can come to all of us. And I want different mentalities on my staff. I don't want 5 Ed Youngs. That would drive me nuts.
One's enough. One's plenty.
Yeah, that's a real concept.
One is definitely enough. But and people sometimes just don't understand the dynamic. And I tell a lot of young coaches, it's probably better that if you're an assistant coach in a program and you're ready for that head job, it's better for you to go somewhere else, establish yourself, even if it's 1 year as a head coach, and then come back. Because the players under you don't understand that change. They'll think you're changing. It's not you're really changing. And it's not that players can't come to the head coaches. It's not that at all. It's just a little different in terms of the demeanor in the process.
1,000%.
But that's probably made this season, Coach, an easier transition for the returnees than, say, last year. Let's dive into those guys that you have on your team that came back and if they're new at all. But I know some key performers like Isaiah Goodson, sophomore guard, second-team All-State a season ago. His family, his brothers played athletics at Princess Anne, so you know them quite well. You've got, in addition to him, Marcus Byrd, Nico McIntyre, I think was hurt for you when you guys played Salem and lost in overtime, but you got him back. Aiden McKeating inside, who's a George Washington baseball commit. Tell us what these guys have brought you so far during this journey.
They've been amazing, man. I think, coming in, into this year, we knew we had, Z coming back. He had a, pretty good freshman year. And Byrd had a solid year, but he was honorable mention. So, some people were still unsure what he was going to do, but he's definitely rose to the occasion. He's averaging around 16, 17 points a game. Nico's jumped his play from probably like 5 or 6 points a game to 15, 16 points a game. And then Aiden McKeating, he's just a tough kid. A lot of stuff he does doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but his last 2 outings prior to Green Run, he was a double-double guy, so he's all the way capable. And then we have some guys coming off the bench that, are bringing positives. Mason, or not even coming off the bench. We have another one of our starters, Mason Oates. He played a big game yesterday, had a bunch of physical, tough man rebounds, and we've just been getting positives from a host of guys, and I think that's what you have to be able to have to get wins down the stretch.
For sure. And for you guys to take the next step, it feels like that's just a big thing, getting those supporting cast guys. You've had some headline pieces, even going back to guys we watch now on TV, such as the Kanye Clary's of the world that played at PA and wore the uniform, but getting those bench support guys, the complimentary roles. And what's it going to take for Princess Anne to be the last team standing in the region and go to state? Certainly you want to be in the final 2 at least to have that state berth, but to get some hardware like the girls do every year, it feels like over there at the Dozier Dome.
Yeah. We just we have to be a physical team. I think we have enough talent, shooting, skill guys. We got to win the physical battles that have probably haunted us for a couple years. We got to be able to match intensity. And, that was one of the keys going into the Green Run game yesterday. Got to be physical, got to be able to match Zay Cleveland and Day Williams. And they just got a host of guys that are, super physical and they play hard. So we just got to be able to match that. And I think, again, in order to make it to the regional championship, to beat a Salem, to beat a Kellum, those are physical teams. And, we got to be able to match physicality. I think talent-wise, I think we got enough scoring. I think we'll be able to put them in the right situations to have success offensively. But we got to be able to keep guys in front. We got to be able to be physical. We got to be able to rebound in basketball.
No doubt about it. Before we let you run, we thank you for the time here this morning. Greg Montgomery, head basketball coach of the Princess Anne Cavaliers. His alma mater in Virginia Beach, coming off a nice win over Green Run as they move the record to 15-4 here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Ed, it's a credit to you, Coach Montgomery. Ed, you brought it up when we watched them play Norview, though Norview beat you pretty handily that night at Norview. You were impressed with what you saw athletically, and you thought a run was coming from PA. You think they're a team that can make some noise, Ed?
Well, definitely. Got some good youngsters. Of course, when I go to a game, as a coach, I always try to watch the interaction between players and the coach. And I think, Greg, you do a real good job. Kids do respond to you because if we can't get our message across in terms of them playing, what are we doing? And I think Yeah, and I think that, your opportunity is there. I think they're responding to you. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm critiquing every young coach's moves, as to would I do that or not. We all take different paths and
Absolutely.
different things work. It's what works with you, with your guys. That's what's key. And I think all of that is clicking in there for you as you get through. And, even in your own Beach District, Kenny Harris, Dwight Robinson, Norm over there at Kellum, you got Bobby at Cox. You've got some coaches that are really tough, that have been in it, and they're going to game plan for you, and then they're going to make adjustments in the game. And that's where coaches have to really show what their worth is, those in-game adjustments, and how that chess match and how that works. So, not that you need my approval. I think a lot of things you're showing them what a lot of young coaches have to do and all that, which does bring me up to this. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I will. You're coaching at PA, your alma mater, you're doing well. You had a taste at the college level. Eventually in your future, is college level, maybe as a head coach, what you're looking at? You're content, or are you just content on the high school level and ride it out until you decide, hey, this is not for me anymore?
I don't know. Eventually, maybe I'll get back and I'll dabble. I did enjoy the college level. Certain aspects of it. I think I was just a young fella that wasn't probably ready to be on the road. Macedo does, like I said, he prepares. He does his due diligence. So I was on the road every weekend, and I'm in the office till whatever. And I just was a young kid that I don't know if I was all the way ready for the day-to-day grind. And I just wanted to test the waters. I'm loving the high school level. I enjoy impacting the kids. I'm in the school. I love being able to be around on a daily basis. And I just think the impact, I'm an impact guy. So I think the impact is kind of not greater, but I enjoy it at the high school level. But definitely, I could see myself going back to that level. But right now I'm cool with where I'm at. I like what we got going on, and I think there's a bright future. So I'm content.
And my point on that is, if the PA people are listening and saying, wait a minute, coach talking about leaving us someday back to college. It's not so much that you might be a PA for the next 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't know. It's just the fact that we all have dreams and our abilities. At one time, I wouldn't mind trying. I wanted to coach college level, did that. And I started thinking maybe at the NBA level. But the high school level is where you do have the most impact on players, even from my college experience. And what little I've done at the so-called professional level, not NBA, but below it, it's the impact is greater in the high school. The thing is, you're
1,000%.
You're involved in everything about a kid's life.
For sure.
So that's not true at the professional level and coming down.
Absolutely. So
let me ask you this.
I love that piece.
Are you married?
No, sir.
Okay. One thing about young coaches is, you have all these aspirations and deals, what you want to do. But the minute you hook up with the young lady and a potential family,
for sure,
things change real quick.
Things slow down. Your time is needed in other places more than maybe normal. And, you can't. I've seen it. And I've always, again, I bring up Macedo a lot because, that's my guy. And he just had a wife that understood, and she's at all the games. And even when I see her, and I might see her today, they play at 12:00. She's gonna say, if I say, when's the last time you and Macedo? She's gonna say, I see Macedo in 3-4 months. Like, it's basketball season. Like she just that's just her mentality. Like, I'll see him in 3 months. Like, it's basketball season. So it's definitely that's a real concept as well.
Well, before let you run over the fish tank.
You have to have a wife that is, or even a girlfriend that is very understanding, because during the season, like I used to tell when I was married, I used to tell my wife, now you do understand the season's coming up. There are times you might drop down to number 2 on the list behind the team. And we say that in jest, but they don't take it in jest. So
for sure.
You have to be careful, not bring those games home. That's the key.
Absolutely.
Before we let you run over to the fish tank in the batting center for Virginia Wesley's game that's part of a double dip today starting at noon, and Greg Montgomery, our guest here from Princess Anne Hoops. 2 quick ones for you. Now, you did dabble, if I remember, because I remember when you were playing, and I saw a lot of this on social media. I forget your teammate. You were beginning to get in the music industry, I thought, right? Are you still involved in that at all, or what was it?
Music has my heart, so I like to write. poetry, spoken word, all of those things. In college, me and one of my teammates, we used to make music, and we did some shows on campus, and at some of the local venues around here, Shaka's, Norva, all of that stuff. So I definitely dabble. Right now, I don't think it really goes with what I've got going on. I feel like it'll be a lot of judgment, and so I kind of leave it alone. But that still has my heart, and I still, do those things. I probably just don't promote it as much, but
no problem.
I still write for my piece.
Good stuff. I know one of Ed's former guys is in the music hip hop industry, I think, in BJ Jenkins from Green Run back in the day. And lastly, your big game coming up next week is at Lansdowne. You host them. Is it on Tuesday night?
Yes, sir. Tuesday.
Okay, so go check it out, folks. If you want to support the Cavaliers and Eagles, should be a big Beach District matchup as PA plays host to Lansdowne, a factor in Class 6, and the Cavaliers thrusting themselves into picture, of course, in Class 5. He's Greg Montgomery at PA, and they're 15-4 off a sweep of Green Run this year. All the best to you. Thanks for the time today, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, make sure Matt has your info so I can get it, especially your email, so we can get you that information. We got to get you to join. And a little secret about me, I'm a rapper too. I put my career on hold.
Yes, sir.
I got my name, Plain White Rapper. I mean,
I got you.
It'll work. And and one dude, what is his name? 4 Chains or whatever it is, or 1 Chain.
4 Chains. 2 Chains.
He stole one of my songs about white tee, wearing the white tee.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't copyright it, and that sucker stole it. So
we got to get that figured out.
I might join your group. I already got my name, Plain White Rapper. I can bring a different element of the crowd to it all.
I'm down for a collab.
There you go.
Do that.
Yep.
Thank you, Coach. You be well.
I appreciate you having me. Yes,
Talk to you soon.
Greg Montgomery, head basketball coach at Princess Anne, doing great things over there. He's our guest. We got more coming your way, including Brandon Scott's Mr. Xcellence on the wrestling side of things in just a little bit here on 757 Sports Talk. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you always subscribe, whether Ed's dropping bars or not here on, you were.
No, it's spitting rhymes. We're not
dropping
rhymes.
I thought it was dropping bars. What is it?
See, this is why people tune us off.
No.
Ain't nobody talking about dropping bars, man. You got to spit some rhymes.
Spit some rhymes. Okay. Just making sure you're.
Things I got to go through to make this show work.
We've got more coming your way on 757 Sports Talk. Whether there's snow or not, right here on Cova Sports TV. Now this from those that help make it possible, including Chicho's Pizza.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
James Catato.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Plato? Get out of here! We got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
well, no, we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in no phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
And George Payne just rolling up the sleeves, taking the kendo stick from Brandon Scott, going for Joyce Davis. This is going to be so cathartic for everyone in the building, all of us, Brandon, George, it's going to be great.
Over 10 years in the making of sports, George Kansas has the authority to make the count.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Hello? Oh, there you guys are.
And we're back here on 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV. We have a special guest with us. He is known as Mr. Xcellence from Virginia Championship Wrestling. Brandon Scott, so kind to join us despite what happened with our once-upon-a-time pal, George Pontus, turning heel. And Ed is still mad at George about this. But the big card coming up, Virginia Championship Wrestling, is going to take place a week from today at the Norfolk Masonic Temple on Granby Street. Doors opening at 6:30, the bell time at 7:30. For more information, how you can get tickets. I know the front row seats are sold out, but there's still plenty of good ones available. Go out there for VCW Wrestling. It's at VCWProWrestling.com. We say hello to Brandon Scott. Brandon, thanks for stopping by, and I know you're hoping for a better night of wrestling than that one was we showed here to start off our segment.
I know that was hard to believe. And I still after all these months, I still can't believe what happened. George has always been my friend. He's always had my back. And just to see him turn on me like that and join, Jerry Stephanisis out of everyone, I don't think anybody's seen that coming. I sure didn't see it coming at all. And, it still breaks my heart that, he turned his back on, all the Virginia Championship Wrestling fans, and especially me, man. After all we've been through and everything we've, he's always had my back, even when Jerry was down my throat and not giving me, chances at the championship. George was always there to be like, hey, I'm going to call this right down the middle. And, just to see him do something like that is just shocking to me. So, but his time's coming for sure.
Good to know. Well, you certainly are well regarded in the wrestling sport. You were the longest reigning VCW heavyweight champion, and you've been in AEW. You've appeared in WWE. You've fought some of the best fighters out there, and we'll dive into that. But let's start at the very beginning for you. How you got involved with wrestling. Take us from the whole genesis of it, and we'll get ahead to what's on tap for you.
Pretty much my whole life, I've watched wrestling. My dad was a big influence, with the watching wrestling. He took me to my first wrestling event which was WCW back in like 92, 93. They actually came to the high school that I went to. So, I always fell in love with, just everything about it. Like, WCW was my thing. Like me and my dad, every Monday night, we would watch wrestling. It didn't matter if it was Monday, Thursday, whatever it was. We were always watching wrestling together, and that made us have a bond that was unbreakable. So I grew up in that era of like the Attitude Era and the NWO. So those were just great times, that like you can't get back. So I don't know, just I've always loved it, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. So then when I became a teenager, my dad started traveling to independent wrestling, which I didn't even know was a thing. But I started like, Googling wrestling that was like close in the area, but I didn't find anything because a lot of the times, wrestling didn't come around here in Harrisonburg. Every now and then we had like an independent promotion, but I didn't even know what it was at that time because I was just so young. I was just like, I don't know what this is. This is a bunch of, wrestlers getting together and, having this show. And I started Googling different shows, and I finally came across this show in Martinsburg, West Virginia. It was called the House of Pain Wrestling Federation. Not sure if you know who they are, but they were based out of Maryland at the time. But it was ran by a guy named John Rambo, and I started going there just monthly. They would have monthly independent shows. So my dad, we would put the MapQuest in because, there was no GPS then. So we MapQuest everything out, the directions there, the directions back. And we would go there monthly and watch these shows in Martinsburg, and then we would go to Maryland, then we would go to Pennsylvania. So we drive everywhere just to see these shows. And me being the biggest wrestling fan that you can find, when I turned 17, I got into wrestling. There was so they were doing a drawing where you could actually be a special guest referee for one of the shows. It's like one of those like 50-50 drawings where they draw your ticket. You pick to ref one of the matches, and they drew my ticket, and I was lucky enough to ref one of these matches. And it was unbelievable. I'm a 17-year-old kid that like is just like being the biggest like mark ever, as you say. I drew the ticket. They drew my ticket, and I got to get in the ring. I didn't know what was going on. They didn't tell me anything. They're just like, go out there, kid, and count to 3 when it happens, And I was like, okay. I at that time, I still didn't know how things worked, but my name got drew, and after that, I was just like, I was hooked. I was hooked before, but even more now that more than before. I was like, how do I get into this? And so I knew there was a school in Hagerstown called the Superior Pro Wrestling Training Center, which John Rambo ran. And so when I was 17, I went up. We drove up one day, and I signed the paperwork, and the rest is history. Well, my dad had to sign for me because I was underage still, but the rest is history from there.
Pretty cool story here with Brandon Scott, Mr. Xcellence, Virginia Championship Wrestling, coming to the Norfolk Masonic Temple on Granby Street a week from today. VCWProWrestling.com, how you can get your tickets. Rex Lawless, the matchup, we'll dive in on that. But a guy in Brandon Scott who's faced some of the fighters out there that people have heard of in wrestling: Carlito, Billy Gunn, Gangrel, Jeff Jarrett, Jimmy Snuka, Tommy Dreamer, Matt Hardy, Buff Bagwell, Scott Steiner, and so many others. It's 757 Sports Talk, and you're watching with us here on Cova Sports TV. Ed?
Yeah, Brandon, well, appreciate you obviously coming on. We've been dying to try to get you, but Mr. Pontus has denied us access because he knows we're going to find the real story.
Well, you don't have to listen to anything he says. If you ever want to get a hold of me, you just message me. George doesn't run my life, so screw George. Screw him.
And no, because you know what, I like that because he got you. Now we try to maintain a friendship with him because Jerry the mouse or whoever the guy is, Stinkinopoulos, is going to turn on him eventually. So and then he's going to come crawling back to you. It's going to happen. I can see it. I try to tell George this, and he waves me off. But he and what he did to you is the bad thing over there at the Portsmouth Pavilion when he went between the legs stuff. That's what I got on George. I said, George, why not face to face with him? Brandon has been face to face with you all the career. Now you want to go behind and do some of that again. Jerry, whatever the heck his name is.
Yeah,
stuff.
if they missed it, here it was again, Ed, for folks that missed it. 30 seconds. This is what happened. I mean, this was pretty gruesome.
Howard.
Just absolutely unnecessary, right?
Unnecessary. I told you guys just a little bit ago, like I'm just shocked. I don't know why George did it, and he keeps mentioning he's done all this stuff for me and got me all these opportunities. I haven't worked hard my whole life to get the opportunities that I have deserved, that I've earned. Because this business isn't easy, and being I'm not the biggest guy out there, but I have the biggest heart, so I'm always going to give my all. And I just to hear George be like, I've gotten you all these opportunities, and what have you done in return for me? What? It doesn't even make any sense. I just don't get it. And like I told you, his time is coming, and I'm going to get him right between the legs too.
Well, like I said, that's going to be good. Of course, now you got the big matchup with Rex Lawless now back for your try to get back your title. And you got to put your emphasis in there, and hopefully George doesn't do none of his sneaky things and disrupt or distract you in this championship match, which I wouldn't put past him. But tell us about Mr. Lawless, and I don't want you giving away any of your secrets, but some things that you're thinking about, what you're going to have to do next week, February 7th, Masonic Temple, Norfolk. People got to get out and see it. What about Rex?
Well, if you guys have seen Rex, that dude is massive. He's a giant, so I'm definitely going to have to kill him. I'm going to have to chop down those legs and, take him out because the dude is big. He's athletic. I mean, have you seen Rex in person? Yes. Have you guys seen him? He's athletic. He's an amazing competitor. He's been a great champion at VCW, but that comes to an end next Saturday, February 7th at the Masonic Temple. Like I said, I'm just going to chop down those legs, and I'm going to, do the best I can to get him down. And because I've known Rex for a long time, and we've been in the ring in the past, and he's gotten the better of me, but this is for the championship. This is for the title that I want back that I haven't had in 4 years. So I'm just looking forward to, having a great match. But like you said, I have to keep some eyes in the back of my head because I know George is going to be lurking around with probably the Greek god Papadon as well. So if you remember, in December, he's trying to cash in his Liberty Lottery title shot at any time. So I got to keep that in mind too, that's not going to happen on Saturday. So if I do win the title, I'm definitely going to have to be on the lookout for them.
And you mentioned the Greek god Papadon. He was on our show here too, and he was a pompous whatever. I don't want to say it out loud on the show too. After we gave
Ed and Papadon almost came to blows. It was pretty nasty. Yeah.
Well, if I got to, I don't have any problem. I'm knocking some of these guys upside their head. I have no problem with that. And if I have to, not that Brandon needs it, I would be there ringside, and I would make sure. Now, I can't make that show, but I would make sure Mr. Pontus doesn't interfere because I would got something for George to kind of get his brain back to being right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Ed, you're welcome to be there. I wish you could be there so you could actually knock the living crap out of George. And if you want to take a shot at the Greek god, too, you can, too, since he was giving you such a hard time. when he was on your show. He's just an arrogant prick. That's all he is. And what do they call him at VCW? What did the fans call him? Like, what do they call him? Papa John's or something? Papa? Yeah. What do they?
Yeah. He's full of himself. You know, I had to tell him he had to stand on one of the old phone books so we could see his. You know, he's kind of short, so we told him, "Hey man, why don't you stand up so we can talk to you?" He got mad. He said, "I am standing up." Well, you know, I just didn't know that.
But Ed, you got to be careful now. You're not that young spring chicken anymore. I know your last name is Young. You don't want to be breaking bones here with some of these athletic wrestlers.
Yeah,
but Brandon, you have some great competitors, and the field coming up for next week is a pretty good one in addition to your match.
Yeah. I mean, the whole card at VCW looks really good. There's a lot of new people coming in, so if you haven't been to a VCW show, this is one to check out because it's at the Masonic Temple. And like you guys said, there is not a bad seat in that house. It's a great wrestling venue. It kind of reminds me of the old like NWA taping style. So it's probably one of my favorite buildings to wrestle in. So
yeah, Brandon Scott, Mr. Excellence, challenging Rex Lawless for the Virginia Heavyweight Championship. You have Commander King defending the VCW Liberty Championship for the final time against LDJ. If King is counted out or disqualified, he will lose the title. You have Joya Blake facing Big Daddy Adriana, Myron Malone, and the Hoss of all Hosses. Devante's teams up against Tiberius Asante and Greek God Papadon with Mr. Pontus. All kinds of matchups. Again, VCWProWrestling.com. How you can get your tickets. Doors open at 6:30, bell time at 7:30. Those front row seats are sold out, Ed, but a lot of good seats available, and it should be a fun time next week.
Yeah, and of course now, Brandon, Matt and I have been to the shows. We usually get the second row. We don't get right there, the ringside second row. But you're right, great seats. Kind of the old. Also reminds me of the old bingo hall ECW used to wrestle in. It got great seats all over the place. And you mentioned Johnny Rambo. Rambo was an ECW guy. He kind of was all over the place too. And I remember he got his early start out in the Portland, Oregon area under Don Owens promotions out there, where which was a big time wrestling at once upon a time until Mr. McMahon took over all the territories. We know how all that ended up happening. And of course, the independent groups of wrestling, I am excited about them. You know, when I've learned about VCW, I try not to miss a show because you guys, Brandon, really put out. I know we get used to seeing the big stars, Rock and Undertaker and John Cena on TV and all that production and whatever. But you guys in those smaller venues really put out there, and you've got regular jobs, regular families, and you put on a true show. And I appreciate that as a fan and watching that. And I think people that have not seen it, I know some people give that little side eye to wrestling, like, oh yeah, wrestling, come on now, it's not a sport. I learned long ago, it's just go in there and try to do the stuff they're doing. It is a sport. It might be somewhat, quote, entertainment, some preconceived ideas or understanding, but what happens in that ring at any split second, injuries can occur, and you know, lives are on the line in a way. You fall down, hit your head on something, become paralyzed, and that's happened to wrestlers. That's not nothing that's fake or made up.
Nah, man. Everything that we do in that ring, it definitely hurts. It takes a toll on the body. Every bump, every bruise that we get, like it's there. You know, I've been doing this for 20 years, and like it doesn't get easier. I can tell you that. My body has been through it all. You know, I've been lucky not to have any kind of serious injury, so I've been lucky on that part. You know, but I have had some, you know, bumps and bruises, maybe concussion here or there, but that's kind of normal when you're in our business. So, no, but like, you can't tell me like, if you get slammed on that mat, like you can't tell me that's not going to hurt. Like, that's silly. Like anybody that says that doesn't hurt or like, that's just fake, that they're joking themselves. You go to a movie and be like, oh my gosh, that's fake. No, you don't say that because we're out there. We're providing a show for you guys, and we want you to be entertained, but also, you know, we're making it as real as what we can to, you know, to provide, you know, this entertainment for you guys for the night. And I don't know. I just hate when people use the word like fake. Fake is just like the worst thing that you could ever say to anyone in our business. Like, it's just such a slap in the face, because nothing that we do out there is fake. I mean, you like the chair shots. Oh my, that's why you can't hit anybody in the head with a chair anymore, for Christ's sake, because the concussions like that we didn't know about, and that's why like a lot of people were suffering from CTE and everything else because of all the stuff that was done back then. Can you imagine being a part of like the ECW era? Like that was great, but like those guys, I'm sure, like you see them now, and a lot of them are really struggling, or they're not even with us anymore, which is sad. Our childhood of, like my childhood of wrestling, and probably yours even more, like they're gone. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy when people try to say stuff like that.
Well, and here, Brandon, here's what I tell people about being fake or whatever. When I was in college, our wrestling coach knew a lot of the professional wrestlers, and they came in town one day. And they had to ring up. It was at Lock Haven University. They had the show there. So I jumped up there. When wrestling class, we had to work the matches that night, help out where need be for a grade. So I decided with my stupid young self in college, I'm going to go up here and run the ropes because I see people, running the ropes. So I go across the ring to hit the rope. I down there tore my head off, fell down, thought I ripped the knee apart, and rolled out on the mat, fell off on the thing, and there's people looking at me like, what's wrong with you? You all right? I go, I'll never do that again. That was just trying to run the ropes. And then when I saw them, we went to one of the schools, like you talked about. Johnny Rambo had a school where they had to train for professional wrestling, and I said to myself, because I was thinking about trying to do it, I said, hey, no way I'm doing this stuff, because it was like military. And when people would say, the wrestlers would talk and say, so what do you think? We just come out here and automatically be able to do this? You got to know how to protect your body. You got to know how to do the shot, so to speak, in there. So it is, and I get on people when they tell me, how can you be old guy like you like wrestling? You know what, that ain't real. I said, tell you what, why don't you go try it? Let's see how really real it is. But we appreciate it too, Brandon, that you coming on and giving us all these stories. And I'm really disappointed. I have another engagement. The young lady wants to a different evening with something out there, so I can't go. I'll admit it, and that's why I'm not going to be there. But I will definitely make the next show in March. I think you guys are going to Hampton High School.
Hampton High, yeah.
I'm going to try to make that one. We'll try to drag Matt out there for that one too. He's got a million things going on too. We need to get him out there. And in there. And I did tell George this one thing. He's got to set up where Matt and I have a match out there. It'll be in 20 seconds.
You won't be able to catch me.
Once I throw him over the top rope, it'll be over. But that would be the fans would probably like to see some of that stuff too.
Yeah, man. Like I'm glad you guys have me on here. This is really cool. I love just talking about wrestling. I love talking about the business. I could talk about it all day. So we could be here all day talking about wrestling, because I have so many stories I could tell you guys, and like so many of the opportunities that I've actually had. Like it's kind of unreal to me. Like when I think about it, like I'm just so blessed of what I've been able to do in the wrestling business, coming from this 120-pound kid that didn't even think he was going to go anywhere. So. And I've had more opportunities than I can't even imagine. It's so unreal.
Really neat. Before I let you run here, any parting shot, any final words to your fans out there for next week? Should be a lot of fun with you and Rex Lawless going head to head.
Yeah, man. I just hope if you guys haven't been to VCW or you haven't been to an independent wrestling show, this is one that you don't want to miss. We are family friendly, so you don't have to worry about that. And you don't have to worry about the most expensive prices that are going on right now. This is, I think it's affordable for families to come. Bring your friend, bring your girlfriend, bring your wife, bring whoever. You just, like, if you have not been to the Masonic Temple, it is a beautiful, beautiful building. And it's just great for wrestling. And the fans that come out, they show up and they're in it all night long. It's insane. Like, you guys have been to the Masonic Temple, so like the energy's always there. Like, it's always exciting. Like, and the more excited the fans are, the more we get. It brings more of us out. More of us out into you guys. So and we feed off that energy. So we love when, you guys show up and new people show up that have never been to a show that are like, oh my gosh, like I've never been to an independent show. I've never been to VCW, and this is better than, what we see on TV, which is kind of crazy. But we love hearing that. So
terrific. We've got Brandon Scott, our guest here today, Mr. Xcellence, VCW Pro Wrestling. Coming up next week, Norfolk Masonic Temple, Granby Street. Get on out there, VCWProWrestling.com for more details and how you can get your ticks for next week's match. Always a pleasure. Thank you for coming on the program, Brandon. We look forward to talking to you again down the road, and you have a great weekend.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate you, and I hope to be back on your show so we can maybe do some more stories, go into depth about, me challenging for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. That was a good one. So
there you go.
Count on it. We're definitely going to be coming up with more shows, and we'll get you on here, let you be a regular, because we do support independent wrestling. We think there's a niche for it in the sport world, and our local people need to get out and support it, because if not, we end up losing it. We're losing something that's really good, and like you said, it's family friendly. It's a good show. The money is definitely worth the money because it's not expensive. I'm not paying $500 to go sit ringside at a WWE show or whatever. I love the idea of Virginia Championship Wrestling. We got to let you get going. Thank you again, and good luck. Get that title back, man. Get that title back.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
Thank you, Brandon. It's
Thank
Mr.
you.
Xcellence, our guest here from Virginia Championship Wrestling. More to come here on 757 Sports Talk, including we'll be doing Take Your Pick and buy or sell. Plus, we got Colin Byrd of Tuscarora to chat about his choice of Grambling State. It's all on the way here on Cova Sports TV.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there, because here you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
I'm Dr. Mark Cardelia, orthopedic surgeon and surgical director of the CHKD Sports Medicine Program. We see a lot of knee injuries in student athletes these days, and many of these are ACL tears. Parents often ask how to know when a knee injury may be serious. The most obvious symptom is severe pain or swelling in the knee joint. Your child may have heard a pop when the injury occurred. Look for signs they can't put weight on the knee around 48 hours after the injury, or if the knee feels unstable or wobbly. Those are all signs you should see a CHKD sports medicine specialist. Our sports medicine physicians, surgeons, athletic trainers, and physical therapists understand the needs of growing athletes and tailor treatment to fit each child's age and level of activity. Our goal is to accurately diagnose the problem in a timely fashion and provide the treatment that will ensure a safe return to activity. Kids want to play, and we want to help them get back in the game. To learn more, visit chkd.org. Sports medicine at CHKD. We're more than a hospital.
I mean, there are a lot of older gentlemen with beards playing basketball in college right now. There are. So you know, the one that's crazy is the guy comes in and he's waving to his kids up in the seats. And you're like, wait a minute, the guy got 2 kids. He's still playing college basketball. Crazy thing, he's using NIL for his first wife's alimony. And now he's still playing college basketball. Are we nuts? So now you have these kind of games and these kind of scores. That team is really old. My guess is, again, we're probably the youngest team in the SEC. We'll be one of the 3 youngest teams in the SEC. Those teams are old. Last year, every team was old in our league. They were old. And so now you're going to have those kind of things. And you're also going to have a team like a Fresno beat somebody because they got all grad students, seniors, and their average age is 25. And your average age is 19 or 20.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV wherever you are. We thank our guests like Mr. Xcellence Brandon Scott and Princess Anne Hoops coach Greg Montgomery. If you missed any of the program, you can always scan back on Cova Sports TV on YouTube. Hit the rewind button. Make sure you always hit the like button, the share button, and subscribe, because when you subscribe, you get notifications when we go live, and also when different videos and clips and things get put up on Cova Sports TV. You just heard from one of Ed's idols, John Calipari, one of his favorites from the Arkansas Razorbacks, who will be involved in our next segment, which is Take Your Pick, a big Saturday of college hoops. And there's also a big game on Sunday in the SEC, Alabama and Florida. There's been some spice and some barbs thrown, by the way, if you haven't noticed or followed it, Ed, between Todd Golden, the coach of the reigning champion Gators, and Nate Oates. The judge got recused, and the Charles Bediaco, he's played a couple games. I know you're shaking your head over there like, what in the world's going on here? We got guys in the G League coming to play college hoops. Ed's trying to get on the phone to get Giannis to come help out the Smithfield Packers, see if he's got some eligibility for high school. All kinds of wackiness, but we're getting closer and closer to the madness of March, which is what we all love so much, be it in the high school or college ball setup. And now we have Take Your Pick. Are you ready to take your pick, Ed?
Let's do this. I love getting my own pick.
All right. Take your pick. We're going to go through 5 games of consequence. And the first one is not one of the higher profile games, but it's a sneaky good game in the Mountain West. And you know how much I love my MWC hoops. Those late night games, get a snack, hit something in the freezer or the pantry to munch on while you watch the Aztecs and the Aggies. Utah State playing host to San Diego State. Take your pick, Edward. Who wins this game? It's actually on a late game. It's a 1:00 Eastern. You know, wait a second. What happened to my late games? No, this is an afternoon or in the mountain morning midday game. So it's not one of your later start times, but Utah State is a 7.5-point favorite at home. Do believe San Diego State is going to be missing one of its key guys. Double checking that now as we look at this. But Reese Dixon Waters, Miles Byrd, they can knock down some shots. And San Diego State is actually averaging 83.7 points per game in its last 10. Who are you taking? The dog in SDSU, who's been to a national championship game just a few years ago, or Utah State, currently the flag carrier in the Mountain West? Although they're a game back in the standings. They're the projected flag carrier, I should say.
Well, I know you said the spread, but I don't see it up here. And normally we do spread picks because spread picks screw me up straight up. My record is like 85%.
Okay.
I'm going to either way, I'm going Utah State in this. And let me also preface this. I know we got to get moving on this. This is the time as we start in February. Everybody, the big college fans, start wondering, hey, who's going to be the sneaky pick in the field of 64? San Diego State in the past.
68 now. 68 teams. Remember, they had the
That's
first
right,
one.
68. My fault. I still call it 64, and it should be 68. It's not 64. And these are two teams kind of keep an eye on. I know San Diego State overall record is not shiny and new like a new toy, but there's a team to watch. What team they were issue a couple years ago in the field, and the Utah State is definitely one of those teams to keep an eye on, and that's why I'm going Utah State right now.
Well, the two guys that are out, actually, it's LZ Harrington's got a leg injury, freshman guard, not as big a loss, but here's the bigger one. There's shot blocking big man Magoon Gwath. If you watch SDSU, he's always getting boards and some points in the paint and blocking shots. He's got the hip injury. They didn't play Wednesday. They beat Colorado State 70-50. They won't win this game. They could get a backdoor cover. So 7.5 is a lot of points. So be careful out there, folks, if you're playing the point spread on this. But I will take Utah State like you to win outright. And I think they barely cover, but it won't shock me if SDSU's down 15 and they make a comeback to get it down to a couple possessions. But Utah State should hold them off and get the W. Our next one on Take Your Pick, and we got buy or sell later on in the program to close out the show. Since we have no NFL picks today, the Super Bowl's a week away. Ed gets a sip of Eliminator, OJ, whatever the heck was in that glass. Take your pick. We go to the Big 12 now. AJ DeBonsa from BYU. Most of the mock drafts have him going number 2 overall, but he was one of the many freshmen last week that scored 40-plus a week ago as they won the Holy War against Utah. The Jayhawks of Kansas, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Aaron Peterson, he's been in and out of the lineup. He's had some injuries. He's the projected number 1 pick, and he is a special, special player. They had that wild comeback win, if you recall, against TCU a couple weeks back. Take your pick at Fog Allen. Hard to go against KU. BYU just had their number last year, and they smacked them around last year at home. You going with the Cougs on the road or the Jayhawks at home? Take your pick, Edward. The point spread is currently marked at KU minus 3.5. Open at 4.5.
I know which way you're definitely going to go on this. No question about it.
What way am I going? Well, go ahead. What way am I going?
I'm going to go opposite you. I'm going Kansas.
And your reasoning?
At home, they need to stop this. It's not that they're losing, of course, at 15-5, but I think, BYU had their number in the past.
KU's won 4 in a row. They haven't been losing at all. They've got 4 straight wins, whereas BYU's lost 2 of 3, including the game against Arizona. They were down a bundle and had a chance to steal it at the end as Tommy Lloyd was like having, choke moment. Had to get him some oxygen. If you watch the game, it was dicey. But so BYU might need to gain more than KU does. Go ahead.
Yeah, it could be. I think BYU. I think when we talked about college basketball when it first started, I think we both said, "Watch out for BYU as the year goes on, and then definitely in tournament play." I still believe that. Sweet 16. I see BYU as a Sweet 16 team, but I'm going with Kansas in this game.
I see BYU as an Elite 8 team. I don't think they're intimidated at playing in Kansas. I know that's a hard place to win at. Houston had to rally in a crazy one last year to beat them there. But remember the name Richie Saunders. He's that shooter from the outside to complement DeBansa. They have Robert Wright. They have Keba Keita, who I love on the interior. I think BYU getting points is the way to go, and I think they win the game outright as a road dog. Give me the Cougars to take this one because they need it. And Kansas has been a little up and down. They need Flory Badunga to cancel out Keba Keita, which he can do. But Darren Peterson's minutes has been watched a little bit. This is definitely a game people are looking forward to because you have DeBansa and you have Peterson, probably the 1 and 2 picks. And I think I heard that 15 of the top 17 projected picks are freshmen this year. So a lot of them. I do mean a lot of them. Should be a whale of a game. Speaking of a whale of a game, your mentor over there we just showed, your idol, John Calipari, who you used to do 5-star with many, many moons ago, playing host.
Roommates. We were roommates a couple times.
Your roommate. Oh, boy, he's probably got stories. If he was your roommate, oh. Anyhow,
I got stories, but I'll wait till he retires before I mention them.
Okay. John Calipari's team at home, where they are hard to beat, 16-5, playing host to his former school, Kentucky. Now, speaking of up and down, a team that's not been consistent, that would be Mark Pope's Wildcats. They have not been really, really consistent. Ed, they had that crazy play, the reverse of the Christian Laettner Duke play they got when Moreno hitting the game winner for Kentucky recently. But here they are at Arkansas, which is a 6.5-point home favorite. You know this one means a lot to Coach Cal. Darius Acuff has been playing out of his mind, and because of that, I think Arkansas wins. But if you watch Calipari's teams play, you know 6.5 points is too many. They have a tendency to be up in games and let it shrink fast. They were fortunate in a lot of ways to beat Oklahoma the other night. They had to come from behind to do so. I just don't know what Kentucky team's going to show up. Moreno's big for them on the boards, but they lost by a wide margin to Vanderbilt by 25 the last time out. And I just do not see them as a consistent team. So I'm going to go Arkansas to win, but Kentucky to get the backdoor cover.
I'm going to go Arkansas by at least 10.
Woo!
I think they'll be up for this game. Kentucky is kind of all over the place. Some of the Kentucky faithful are having rumblings about Pope, believe it or not, already. And he's a Kentucky grad.
Wow.
But he's a lot different than when Calipari. Of course, Calipari left Kentucky because the last couple of years at Kentucky, Cal just wasn't getting it done either.
No,
but I think Arkansas really puts it together today, and I just have a feeling 10, 11, 12-point win, Arkansas.
All right, you heard it from Ed. So there you go.
Why? I just started thinking we need to adopt that at Smithfield because, that's kind of like our mascot is the Smithfield
Hacker? Yeah, do that at Smithfield. It might give you more of a home court edge. AJ chimes in, our buddy, Mr. Risser. Dave, no way, coach, shut up before I did. I love it. He's shocked. He thought you'd still be waiting for you when you came on this morning. He was punctual, AJ. Give AJ credit after a beatdown last night in the Bay Ridge District on the road. He deserves a pat on the back for being punctual today because this would have been the one time for you to be late. In fact, I had 3 people. It's funny, not just AJ. I had 3 people. I won't say their names. Jim, Bob, and Bill. That said, I whispered their names. That said, what time will he be on the show today? So they knew what happened last night. They were not expecting you to be punctual, and you were. So kudos to you on that.
I got home quick. I got showered up quick, and I got into the bed. Of course, I didn't sleep at all. But now AJ, I think he got in about 6, probably 5, 6 in the morning. So I knew I was beating him. Yeah, AJ.
Married life. He can't have that back in his day. Now he's married and he can't not now, not anymore.
Sometimes the married guys stay out longer because the wife has the honey-do list for AJ.
I don't think so. Take your pick. The next one here, and this is one Ed's going to say. Why is this on the screen? Look at UConn's record.
Why is this on the screen?
Okay, there you go. UConn 20-1, Creighton 12-9. Creighton, its last time out. Did you see the beatdown that Marquette gave them and Shaka Smart's team, which is not having a great year? They absolutely pummeled them. Creighton lost that game at Marquette, one of the Big East's worst teams, 86-62. Creighton had to beat Xavier by 1, lost to Providence by 5, survived Georgetown in overtime by 3, and lost to St. John's by 17. UConn has won a bundle in a row. They did have to beat Villanova in overtime, Georgetown by 2, Providence by 6. But this has been a house of horrors for UConn. UConn at Creighton. The Blue Jays have their number when the game is at Creighton. In fact, going to the history here, Ed, UConn's record against Creighton, 3-9. 3-9. They lost to them in New York last year. They lost to them in Stores, actually beat them in Omaha, Nebraska, but lost to them in Omaha in 2024. Omaha, Peyton, lost to them in 2023, lost to them in 2022, lost to them in 2021. So they've lost 4 of the last 5 trips there. And your point spread for this game is UConn minus 7.5. So when you look at it right there, you say, all right, UConn's going to take it, but Creighton gets them there. So what do you think? Take your pick, UConn or Creighton. I see a couple of our comments. We got people watching on the IG, Nova Hoops Legends, man, AJ, Dre, some others. I'm going to get to a question on IG in a moment, folks that are watching on the IG. But what's your pick here, UConn, Creighton?
It was 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think UConn blast Creighton at Creighton.
Blast them at Creighton. Do you really?
On the normal, but Creighton, I think, can get it together to at least lose the game, but cover the spread. And I'm going to waffle.
I thought you were a pancake. I thought you were a pancake guy.
Yeah, but you can't waffle when you're a pancake. You're a pancake. You can't waffle. When you're a waffle, you can't pancake.
Okay.
Pancake is that block where you knock them down.
Okay.
It's either UConn wins, but Creighton covers, or UConn's just going to come in and bulldoze them, and it's an 18-point.
Wait. There's like 4 or 5 possibilities. UConn can steamroll them. UConn can win close. Creighton can lose close. Like I just said, it's part of that. Creighton can win big or Creighton can win close. There's 4 possibilities. So don't give me
There's no way. Creighton's not beating UConn big. So take that out the door.
To the bank. If Creighton beats UConn by double digits, you will do a video in the snow.
I'll do a video in the snow with my clothes on and my hat and my coat.
We want your clothes. We obviously want your clothes.
Creepy
we want
stuff
your clothes.
I
didn't ask you. Yes, keep your clothes on. That would be
yeah, I didn't know, Mr. Herbert. We're not doing all that crazy stuff.
No, keep your clothes on. I didn't
jackpot on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see. This is not.
How about this? How about this? You do a video in the snow, clothed on, and you got to wear an Arizona Diamondbacks hat. I'll give you one of my D-backs hats. How about that?
Well, we'll see. And by the way, what's
up
with the Raiders and the Cardinal? Your Cardinals, my Raiders, fighting over Clint Kubiak. Which one's going to get them?
Well, they're fighting, but they had a 7-hour meeting with Ron Rivera. So go figure. Maybe we got Riverboat Ron coming.
Rivera.
You sure about that? They met for 7 hours. What were they meeting over? Tiddlywinks? Pinochle? What were they discussing? Come on.
I will say this, and I know I shouldn't do this. This will make you mad.
Oh,
NFL's quick thing. Stop getting excited about these up-and-coming coordinators and these magic boys are going to be able to do something instead of hiring these veteran-proven winning coach in the NFL works if you've got some talent on your team. These upstart coordinator guys, too many of them are tremendous coordinators and average at best head coaches. Josh McDaniels, I rest my case. All right, so give me UConn by, I'm going to say, I'll make it easy, UConn by at least 10, if not more.
So then you got them covering minus 7.5. I got Creighton pulling the outright upset. I think UConn is by far the better team, but they've been playing with fire, and Creighton got smacked around, and it's at home. And for whatever the reason, this has been a bad spot for UConn going to Creighton. I think Creighton will make shots, which they tend to do, and UConn's due for a flat game. And I think they'll make a comeback. They'll get down double digits and get it down to 2 or 3, but Creighton will hold them off. So that's how I see this game playing out. Could be wrong. We'll see. Definitely think UConn can go to a Final Four because Danny Hurley, who knows what he's doing, has the components with the inside game and Terrace Reed, not a big-time pro. But and listen, they've been missing Mullins, who's a big factor for them on the perimeter. But solo ball, that group, I think UConn's got it together, but they're due for a loss. They're 20-1. You lose one on the road to Creighton, it's not that big a deal and that bad. So, and the last one, we love this one, the late game in the West Coast Conference. It's St. Mary's, 19-3 at the Zags, 21-1. As long as my guy Graham Ike plays, I like the Zags in this one. But I will tell you right now, 9.5 is way too many points to give to a Randy Bennett team, coach team. I don't care if the game's at Gonzaga, at St. Mary's, playing at the Gales' house, or the Bulldogs' house. It's too many points. So give me St. Mary's with the 9.5, but the Zags to win outright by probably 5 or 6.
I'm jumping on that bandwagon. You're right. Gonzaga will win it, but 9.5 to St. Mary's. And this is not supposed to be a good St. Mary's team at 19-3. Wow. I wish I could have teams 19-3 and not that good.
But this is not a vintage Gonzaga team because their three-point shooting is very sporadic, and they're missing Braden Hove. He's going to come back in about a month or so, maybe less than that, to go with Graham Meekin to give them that double post option. You know how big it is for Markfield to have double posts, run some high-low, and also in a low block area, control things. But they don't have that Julian Strawther guy on the outside that I'm really loving, dependable, and he's had some big-time lottery picks lately. Think about Gonzaga. They've had Jalen Suggs and Chet Holmgren, some big-time pros. People are going to say they're the best team outside the Power 4 leagues. I've heard that even this morning. I think it might be St. Louis. That guy's coaching his tail off shirts, and they're really good out of the A-10. It might be St. Louis, but the Zags are legit. I just don't see them as a Final Four legit this year. I think they go out probably around Sweet 16, depending on their draw. So that's going to be it for Take Your Pick. We do have one basketball question on the IG, college-wise, before we take a break and hear from Colin Byrd, and then do our buy or sell. Probably going to go a little bit over 12 noon today. We will go over 12 noon. Ernie Hankins out there wants to know, telling me what you feel is wrong with Old Dominion men's basketball team this season so far and what improvements, in your opinion, should be taken. So you've watched ODU men a couple times in person. I've actually filled on a couple of the men's games doing the women's broadcast. I haven't watched them as closely, but they're currently 7-15 and playing at Texas State today, who's 12-11. So what would you say has to be improved about the ODU men? They haven't gotten the year they were expecting out of Robert Davis shooting the basketball for them. I do love Zach Wiggins, the freshman for them, who is dynamite. But what must Mike Jones and company do to get hot? Because they got hot last year when the Sun Belt tournament came. Remember, they won a few games in the tournament. What must they do to correct things, Ed? From your vantage point of perspective, you're not there every day and you're coaching your own team, but you have seen them a couple of times. What would you say?
When I saw him play early in the season, I do want to see him play again. I think Mike is giving his all for it. It's a little bit of a disconnect. When the offense is kind of clicking, the defense is lacking. It's lacking. And then vice versa. They'll get a stop on defense, come down, and can't make 3 layups in a row. I don't know if that's still what an issue is there. And, of course, when early in the year, I attribute a lot of that to a lot of new guys.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get that chemistry going. They got to, you bring in, and I'm not knocking Old Dominion. Every team that goes in the portal, you bring in guys, and now you got to make sure that the chemistry gets going. Because if that doesn't work, you're in trouble. If you get bringing in guys that have had good years elsewhere, and now they have to be more of a fit-in type player, and they thought maybe they're going to be the stud there, that could be an issue. I don't think it's not the idea of not trying, not working. I think Mike Jones' teams do work. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of the connect. It's one thing is working and then the other one isn't. And it's just consistency, which is usually the mark of a young team or an inexperienced team. Consistency is a problem that I would think as tournament time comes up later on in March, they can win a game or two if it hits. And a guy like Davis got to come through. I mean, if there's a kid that you're talking about 15 and 16 a game at least, and he's only giving you 10 or 11, 12,
He was 0 for in their double overtime home loss last week. And to that point, he's capable. So he could have a 28-point game and they beat someone in the Sun Belt tournament. I don't see them winning the Sun Belt tournament. But I will say this, Ernie, it's a great question. We thank you for interacting and watching the show. I'm going to boil it down to what you said. It's the nuts and bolts of it is there's inconsistency. I remember we had a men's doubleheader, walked out before went over to Norview to see you at that showcase, and they were down like 20-2 before you blinked. And then they made a comeback and got it close. They get down big in some games or they have a big lead. I remember another game we were playing on the road, the women's team, and the men were playing, I think, James Madison because I was doing the fill-in when they won at home, and they were up 17 at the half and lost by a whisker at Harrisonburg. Could have swept the Dukes as part of the Royal Rivalry, brought to you by Town Bank, sponsor of ours as well, and that stings. So it's the consistency flow. But I'm gonna boil it down to the basic numbers for you here, and this is cut and dry. You know this because you look at numbers. It's not all about analytics and stats, but this is simple. ODU is 312th in America in turnovers forced per game. And if you force turnovers, what do you get off of turnovers, Ed? You get easy baskets. It's not as easy if you're not getting turnovers. So they've got to find a way, either through the portal recruiting, to get that. I think they're better than the record indicates, but they got to get easier baskets, generate easy baskets. That's going to be crucial for them if they want to be a team that's viewed as one of the upper echelon or contending teams in the Sun Belt.
I mean, you hit it right on the head, and I don't want to keep bringing up stuff with my squad. We had a couple, when we can't get in the gym because of crazy weather, we had a couple really good practices that all I emphasis was getting out quick, spread out on the offense, a lot of motion movement, backdoor cuts, proper screening, ready off the screen. And we just did it. Easy buckets. Because if you have to rely on half-court offense, you've got to nail it. You really got to nail it. We get into a game like last night, and you swear to God, we worked on none of that. And we didn't. Our off spacing was bad. We rushed shots. We didn't get we didn't create turnovers. We had to get out of the press because of fouls. And I'm sitting there thinking, why do we practice? Because the carryover is not there. A lot of inconsistency. And it's an inexperienced team with us. And I'm not trying to make excuses, because eventually when you're on a 4-game losing streak, eyes go on the head coach as to what you're doing and change some things. And we will be changing some things too. But and my assistants last night when we talked about it, how about we play other people? Well, we played some other people last night we haven't been playing and got 0 from them. So what do? Go out in the stands and grab some people? You obviously can't do that. But this is the thing with Old Dominion is being consistent. You'll say, Matt mentioned about below the 17-point lead. Oh, how can you do? It's with the 3 ball. It's not impossible. You can easily do it. Things get away from you quick. There have been many times I've gone in a game that I'm playing and we're up 5 or 6. Everybody's excited. And I'm talking to my assistants. Man, I'm nervous. This is not a good 8-point lead. Coach, it's the way we're playing, I'm telling you. And 90% of the time, I'm right. Either we lost the game or now we're struggling down 3 to try to come back and win it by 2. It does happen. And again, I think Old Dominion is capable of making a little bit of a run at the end. You're right. I don't think they'll win the Sun Belt.
They're better than 7-15. They're not that far off. People look at the record and they say, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong? The sky is falling." But again, it starts to me with you got to get easy baskets and you got to get turnovers forced. That's where it begins. So, however you go about doing that, in terms of the recruiting, in terms of the line, that's the step. Then when that number moves from 312 to even 212. It might not seem like a big deal, but I guarantee you if that number moves from 312 to 212, instead of being 7-15, you're probably closer to 11-11.
You've got to get easy buckets in the game. You can't rely really almost on any level of your half-court offense, because it means you have to execute nearly perfect to continually score. And the goal of every possession on offense is get a good shot. People say, "Oh, I thought it was a score." No, because nobody's ever going to shoot 100% and make every shot. You have to get good shots. And then the second thing is you've got to get follow-ups. You got to get rebounding. Right now, I think in high school, we're probably the worst rebounding team in the nation, without doubt.
In the nation?
In the nation.
Are you sure about that?
That's what we are. No question.
Are you positive about that?
We don't rebound worth the darn.
Are you worse in rebounding than Gateway Christian? Are you sure about that?
I don't know what their stats are, but I would say we can.
Well, then if you're not sure, then stop saying crazy stuff. Coming up next, we got Tuscarora guard Colin Byrd to discuss his pledge to Grambling in the SWAC. It's all coming your way here on Cova Sports TV and 757 Sports Talk, where you always want to like, share, and subscribe to us. Stay tuned.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Checking it out. We have with us one of the top guards in Virginia, high school basketball. He's from Tuscarora High School in Leesburg. He's committed to play his college hoops in the SWAC for Grambling State. We say hello and congrats to Colin Byrd. Colin, good to chat with you. Congrats on your commitment. Been a pretty busy time for you, an exciting time for you as well.
Yes, sir. It has been a pretty busy time, but it's everything I prayed for, everything I dreamed for. I appreciate you having me on here, and it's a blessing and an honor.
Well, it's our privilege. Now, let's talk about you for a second. Before we get to your commitment, I want you to set the record straight because I've read and seen, I've actually watched you live, watched you on film for a couple of years now, going from Paul VI to Tuscarora, helping the Huskies win a region championship and make the state playoffs a season ago and trying to get back there this year and win some hardware region championship, state championship. I know is the goal, but you've been measured in anywhere from 6'2" to 6'4". What is your true height?
See, I like to go right in the middle. I'm like 6'3". I'm probably like 6'2", but in basketball shoes, 6'3". So in basketball, that's all that matters in basketball shoes. So 6'3".
Well, listen, that's exactly right. You play in basketball shoes. You don't play in sandals or flip flops. You play on the court, so that's good. I had you at 6'3" on my record, so I'm glad that you picked.
You got the right height.
What's that?
You got the right height.
There you go. Good to know. Now, your team's off to an 11-4 start. We'll talk about your summer as well. But fill us in on this commitment. You had a bunch of different Division I schools. How many offers did you have before you made your pledge to Grambling?
So I had 8 Division I offers before I made my commitment to Grambling State.
Okay. Tell me about just the experience there, the vibe, and what made them the ultimate choice for you and to do so now.
So for me at Grambling State, it just felt like a family, felt like a home. The coaching staff there, they were amazing. Coach Pete, Coach Proctor, they were amazing. Like they made me feel like wanted, made me feel like it was family, it was home. I mean, I know one of the players on the team, Chance Perkins. He's a guard there, freshman. He went to Highland over in Springfield. So it was just a whole family dynamic over there. Like everybody over there felt like they knew each other. Like while we were on our tour there, like there was a group of families that came up to us and they said, "You got to come to Grambling. Like it's a home here. I met my husband here." So it was just like a family dynamic there that I really wanted to be a part of. And that's what ultimately like rose Grambling above all the rest.
How do they see you fitting into what they do system-wise? And I guess their plans is use you as like a 2-guard, I'm guessing?
Yeah, 2-guard and a point guard. So their offensive style is more fast-paced, more like spread the floor. So I feel like my ability to shoot, ability to get downhill, and ability to play defense is really going to fit in well with their system there.
Sure. What do they like most about your game?
Definitely the energy part of it. Like my energy is really consistent throughout the game, and my shot-making ability is definitely up there too.
Yeah, last season he helped Tuscarora go 21-7, over 19 points per game, more than 4 assists and close to 4 rebounds in the last 11 games as Tuscarora got red hot and trying to get back to the state tournament this year in a tough region, which we'll chat about. But who else was in the picture besides Grambling? I know you had Fairfield, I think, was one of the offers.
Yeah, Fairfield, Norfolk State, UMass Lowell, Boston University, and UPenn. It ultimately came down to Grambling State and UPenn.
Now, since I first started covering this back in 2004, as I show my age here now, recruiting has changed for high school athletes, especially with NIL and the portal, and they're going after more JUCOs, grad transfers, players from the college level. For you, I imagine maybe this time a year ago or even longer than that, it was a little bit of a stressful, I wouldn't say panic's the right word, but how exciting was it for you and describe it for you? Was it all those things, exciting, stressful, nerve-wracking as you went through the process? It was probably cold at first, then it got hot, then it cooled. How has this been for you, and how have you managed it and handled it all?
I mean, it's been crazy. It's been all over the place since my junior year summer. I mean, like, you feel like you have accomplished. You feel like you're at the top of the mountaintop, and then the game just shows you that, like, you're nowhere near the top. So, I mean, just continuing to keep my faith in God, continue to keep my faith in the work that I put in. I mean, it just got me to the point that I am here today. And my junior year, that's when, like, the portal craze was crazy. So, I mean, like, you just really couldn't do nothing about that. That's when coaches were really trying to take advantage of the portal. But, I mean, this year it's kind of died down a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on still, but I was able to find the opportunity right for me, and that's what it ultimately came down to.
It's awesome you've kept the faith and the confidence certainly here. Now, who have you turned to for some advice throughout the process? I imagine your family, your inner circle, your coaches like Coach Newkirk at Tuscarora. Who have you turned to and leaned on throughout this process and for advice?
I really lean on my family, obviously. I mean, I consult my dad, my mom, my brother, all their opinions. But the main people I went to was my AAU coach, Coach Chuck, at TTO National. I really kept him in my corner, and my trainer out in Manassas, his name's Coach Chauncey at MVM. I mean, I really consulted their opinions a lot, consulted their advice through the whole process. And, I mean, I praise those guys. I mean, I texted them when I committed. I let them know I finally got it done. They were just so proud of me. So
that Coach Chauncey, is that Chauncey Beckett?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. He played at Westfield. I remember when he played. I think he was also a trainer for Nate Mint, right? At Tennessee.
Yeah, he's been training for Nate Mint. He trains Nate, Patrick Ngungba at Duke, and he also trained Chance, who's also at Grambling with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Started high limit to there. Absolutely, that's really cool. And Nate had a heck of a game in that SEC showdown that Tennessee won over Alabama on the road. Let's talk about this summertime with TTO Nashville. You certainly opened some eyes during the VA live period up there, as I showed the dunk a moment ago that you had there in that. You had the one a couple of moments. You played Petersburg pretty tough in the East Coast Live. I think it was the following week at Henrico Sports Center, Richmond. But then with TTO National, you opened up even more eyes on the circuit there, the Made Hoop Circuit Championship game. I think you had a game winner in July. How exhilarating was that to kind of open up some eyes, not just in your little pocket of the world there in Leesburg, but and beyond the state, but nationally to kind of get some attention the way you did? And what do you chalk it up to?
I mean, it was a huge honor. I mean, like at first, I mean, it was kind of just like a couple posts here and there. I mean, I was honored to have them. But then when it just kept coming, like everything kept falling into place. Posts were coming, offers were coming, coaches texting me. Like it was a huge honor. Like I give nothing but the praise to the Lord. I mean, he always kept me by my side. He always stayed by my side through the whole process. Like I just owe it all to God. Like every time I try to put it into words, I really can't. I mean, it's all God really at the end of the day. I mean, I just stuck to his plan, stuck to everything that I've learned, and it ultimately came out right for me.
That's awesome. 2 minutes here with Colin Byrd. We'll just rapid fire let him go here. The Tuscarora guard who's got his sights set on another region championship and state tournament run for the Tuscarora Huskies, 11-4 to start this season. He's committed to play his college hoops for Grambling State in the SWAC with us here on VirginiaPreps.com, Rivals and On3, as well as on our Cova Sports TV YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. I can hear it in your voice, Colin, and when you speak here and watching you play too. You play with a lot of passion and emotion. Is that something that you really have heard from other people that have observed you play and something that you hope sets you apart from others? Because you have to love this game, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, that's really the main thing that coaches call me about. I mean, that's the first thing that they tell me is that we love your passion. We love your energy on the floor. And it looks like you have fun when you play the game. And that's ultimately what I do it for. I mean, I love playing this game. I've loved playing it since I was a toddler shooting baskets into my little stroller. Like, I just love the game. And, like, the amount of hard work that I put into it, like, I know that, like, I deserve what I got coming from me. And a prayer that me and my dad share is that I get the fruits of my labor. So just continuing to keep that prayer in my mind, keep the faith. I mean, you really can't do nothing else but just trust it. And, I mean, the passion just comes from the love. I mean, I play in my driveway for hours on end in the summer. So just the passion and the love, I mean, it's got to come out somehow.
Yeah, some of the driveway games have gone away these days. But for you, you're far from a finished product as a basketball player. What are you consciously working on in your game and your craft and trying to improve on for the rest of this season as a senior with Tuscarora and beyond at the collegiate level?
Oh, yeah, I definitely know I'm not a finished product as a basketball player. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not anything near that. So definitely working on my ball handling. Obviously staying in the weight room is number one priority for me too. And, you know, just keeping my flexibility. I mean, I've really started to see that change in my game. Like when I take more care of my body, the muscles, I feel like my game opens up a lot more, my stamina, my strides, everything about that. So definitely the weight room, ball handling, and taking care of my body is definitely the three things I'm working on right now.
Really cool, really cool. Now, you've had a couple of 30-point outings this year. I know against some out-of-state people like Martinsburg, I think it was, Dover from Delaware. Tell me about your group right now, 11-4. Your region is going to be, I think, a bear to the finish with Broad Run, who's got a D1 pledge, and Ryan Brzezinski going to Mount St. Mary's. Heritage Leesburg just beat them handily, and that's a team that's beating you guys. It feels like you three are all pretty evenly matched, and it could be exciting in the playoffs trying to get out of the region to get to state. Tell me about what this group's made of this year.
Our group, I mean, we got a lot of talent. I mean, me, Chaz, Hayden, Drew. We got a lot of talent on the team. We also go deep with Jack Bailey and Asher. So, I mean, our group is really working on our chemistry more often because we know we have the talent, but it's really the chemistry that comes down to it and us being able to, like, trust each other. Because, I mean, I feel like we haven't got to the point where we want to be yet chemistry-wise, and we're still 11-4. So, I mean, just working on that obviously is going to be great. The other teams in our region, Heritage, I mean, I've known those kids since I started playing AAU over here in Virginia. I mean, I've known Dylan Williams, Mason Miller, Jordan Garland. I've known them forever. So just seeing the hard work that they've put in and the results that they're getting is just amazing. I mean, I'm happy to see them play. I'm not happy to see them beat us sometimes, but that is what it is. And Broad Run, I've played with Adam and Ryan in AAU in middle school. So seeing their success, I mean, obviously just brings joy to my heart. seeing Ryan go to Mount St. Mary's, that made me so happy. I mean, that's my guy. So being able to just compete against guys that you've known since we were all like on the same level, I mean, it's just a blessing just to be able to see all the talent that's around here in Loudoun County that we're able to bring lights to it.
Really cool, really cool. And you know what? You are a student of the game. I can tell it hearing you talk, and you shouldn't like losing to those guys. You should want to beat them. You want to compete and beat them
every time. Every time.
But, yeah, no doubt. And you mentioned a couple of your teammates there, Hayden Collins, Chaz Battaglia, this group here that you have at Tuscarora. And last year, getting to states was a big deal. And you made that transition from Paul VI, which has been a factory for years and years. You mentioned Patrick Gumba, Jordan Smith's a big-time player, going to Tusky. I imagine you fit in, though, because you knew the guys. And you knew what Tuscarora was about because they're just a couple of years removed from losing to Hampton in a very close state championship game. So you know they're not that far off. And did you feel like, I don't know if missing piece is the right word, but you could help them get to that spot, be it either last year or this year?
I mean, obviously, when I called the coaching staff asking if I was able to come through, they obviously said I was going to be able to fit in perfectly at the point guard spot. I was able to come through, run the offense, and that's how I was able to excel our trajectory last season with our team last year. And obviously this season, I mean, I'm fitting into more of a role. Drew Dickershak, our sophomore guard, he's shocking a lot of people with his ability to get downhill, his ability to play make. So me being able to work off the ball and still be able to play on the ball is really what I'm fitting into right now. And obviously there's still growing pains with that, but yeah, obviously it's been a good fit for us.
Perfect. Now, before we let you run, you ready to play some rapid fire with us?
Sure.
Here we go. Colin Byrd, the 6'3" combo guard from Tuscarora High School, committed to play his college hoops in the SWAC for Grambling State, which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed or not, they've gotten players from Virginia before. Nigel Ribeiro from the 757 is a guy you should Google that name later on. He played at Oscar Smith and Western Branch. But all right, Colin, favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? I'll go with Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Okay, you're a Scooby-Doo guy. A favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Let's go with Space Jam. Can't go wrong with that.
You can't. I mean, listen, we showed the picture. You can fly like you're in Space Jam. Go-to song?
Go-to song? I'll go Small Town Fame by Drake.
Okay. Late night snack. What's your late night snack you're munching on?
Skittles gummies.
You're a Skittles guy. Okay.
Sure.
You can trade places with one person in the world. Who you choosing?
LeBron James. That's my guy.
LeBron. Better game winner if you could hit a 3 at the buzzer or get a steal and a breakaway dunk.
I hit a 3. I mean, I've hit a 3 before. I mean, just being able to just hit the dagger in them is amazing.
Okay. You want the dagger. All right. We'll see if you get one this postseason. I know a lot of Tuscarora fans are pulling for you to do that. NBA player you enjoy watching most, you sort of answered it's LeBron James, right?
LeBron James. But if we go other than that, probably Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum.
Okay, not bad. Second and third, silver and bronze choices. 2 more for you. Best player you've gone up against.
Best player I've ever gone up against. I'll go, for me personally, is Jordan Smith in practice. I mean, like that, he's a whole different animal. I believe he's the number 1 player in the country. But if we're going to go other than that, probably I'll go Latrell on Petersburg. He's committed to Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Latrell Allman from Petersburg, no doubt. He's great too. And listen, I've seen both of them in person. They're both built like grown men. I remember when Jordan was a freshman, I think that VISAA championship I covered against Chance Mallory and St. Anne's Belfield at Benedictine. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to be a monster in 2-3 years. And lastly, this might be my favorite one here. If you were to cast Coach Michael Newkirk in a movie, what would you have him play? And don't pick Coach. Pick something besides Coach. But that's
I was going to say like a Coach Carter role. If I were to cast him in a movie, that's a good one. I'd probably cast him as like probably like your neighborhood dad who's just like always there, always on the block, like always just able to just say hello, like always just a good upbringing personality, because that's really what he is at Tuscarora.
Yeah, runs the cookout. I like it. There you go. That's Colin Byrd of Tuscarora High School, hoping to help the Huskies on a quest for another region championship and a Class 4 crowns. Very loaded in Class 4, and Tuscarora will be heard from in Class 4 before it's all said and done. Thank you so much, my friend. All the best to you. Congrats on your commitment again, and we'll talk again down the road.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me.
You bet. Colin Byrd, our guest here. It's 757 Sports Talk, VirginiaPreps.com, Rivals, and On3, and also here on Cova Sports TV.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, Advanced Diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Kova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit kovapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Coach Young, just remember this. There's no business like snow business.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
He's ready for the Snowmageddon.
Hey, you said it's going to start snowing around noon. Well, it's what, 15 minutes past it?
Well, I will tell you this. It looks like flurries outside. I'm not going to lie. It looks like flurries.
There's no flurries. I just went outside. There's nothing.
Well, what was your time? You said 2:36 p.m.?
Yeah, and I'm going to push it back even more.
Oh, you're going to push it back even more. Push it back. Push it back. Well, wait a second. It's so bad out there. You had to cancel practice today, right?
I didn't cancel it.
You didn't cancel it, but the powers that be did.
I was ready to practice last night after the game.
I bet you were. Hey, we are going to play a Super Bowl edition of Buy or Sell. Are you ready for a Super Bowl installment of Buy or Sell?
Let's do this.
All right, here we go. We've got 5 burning Super Bowl 60 questions for us to dissect right here on Kova Sports TV. Let's do it. And the first one, Edward. Buy or sell. A quarterback will score the first TD in the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 7 years. So it's happened 3 times in 59 occurrences. Check that. It's happened 4 times in 59 occurrences. This will be the 4th time in 7 years. It's happened 5 overall. Hold on. I'm throwing myself off with the math here. I'm all over the place.
Yeah,
4th time in 7 years. Let's try take 2. Take 2. Start us over again. Here we go. Welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. I'm ready to play Buy or Sell. Hi out there.
I would definitely sell Hatfield. No question about it. Do I have any takers out there? Chime in and give me an offer, and I will sell this dude as soon as possible.
Here we go. Our first Buy or Sell Super Bowl 60 question for all of you is: a quarterback will score the first touchdown in the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 7 years. Now, it's only happened 5 times overall, Edward, but we're showing you here that it's going to happen for the 4th time in 7 years with either Sam Darnold or Drake May to get a touchdown. If you thought my intro was extra corny, we heard that Sam Darnold was hanging out with Carson Palmer, and they got a drink together. They had a Darnold Palmer. Ding, ding. All right, shake your head again.
once again, anybody offers, show them. I mean, I know you probably don't want to pay money for them, but I'll take the best offer, quickest offers possible.
Are you going to buy this one or sell this one? We know you want to sell
Sell it.
Okay.
In fact, in this Super Bowl coming up, neither quarterback will run in for a touchdown.
Okay, well, who is going to score the first touchdown, in your opinion? Do you have a guy? You know who the best odds?
Name me a receiver for Seattle.
Okay. Well, the best odds is Kenneth Walker at plus 370. Receiver for Seattle, you know who it is. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba, JSN, who's plus 600.
Yeah,
and then after those two guys, the next guys that are had the odds, Ramondre Stevenson, the Pats running back at plus 900. Hunter Henry, the Pats tight end at plus 1,400. Stephon Diggs has got plus 1,300 for the Pats. And good value play here as you get ready to yawn over there because I'm going through all these names. You're like, oh, Hatfield, I got time for this. Is Cooper
This will be
Kupp
one of the boringest Super Bowls in the history of Super Bowl.
You know this is going to be a good game. So thanks for ruining this segment. As we haven't gotten to question 2, 3, or 4, or 5, and you've already said this is a boring Super Bowl. I don't totally.
My job is to tell it like it is.
Well, you do, and that's why you draw so many friends and enemies out there, more enemies than friends. But Cooper Kupp is your good value play at plus 1,200. So you're selling this to answer all this. I'm going to sell this too. I don't think it'll be the first Super Bowl, but I will tell you this. I think Drake May has a better chance to be the one to score it than Sam Darnold to run it in because I think he's shown more escapability and mobility in these playoffs and could be asked to do that again, especially if they get to the goal line area. Now, if the ball gets stopped at the 1 yard line, Ed, you're going to feel like a dope because one of the quarterbacks is going to probably then punch it in on a sneak.
And then I would. Hey, it ain't like I've never been wrong. Not a lot, but
it would be the 3,925th time that you've been wrong.
I know I don't want to interrupt your segment, but I'm going to. How about Seattle or New England running a kickoff back? How about our boy from Hopewell, Mr. Henderson?
Trevion Henderson. He did that, remember, in the playoff game last year for the Ohio State against Texas. You remember that? That's not – and remember Shaheed for the Seahawks. Shaheed had it in the Niners game in its divisional round. That's not bad. How you think. Ed's thinking about safeties. He's thinking about kickoff returns, special teams. He's thinking about all those things. And we're going to get to that in question number 3. I like where you're going. It would have been a great segue for question number 2, but you didn't see the script. We don't have a script because our show is unscripted. It's unscripted. It's number 2 in buy or sell. Seattle will score the game's first touchdown. They have scored first in 14 of 19 games this season. If they get the ball first, good chance of that. But Ed's thinking about this one. Ooh, who's scoring the first touchdown? Am I taking this buy or am I selling it?
I'm going to buy it.
You're going to buy it.
To buy.
Okay. Well, generally when you buy things, it goes haywire. So I might sell. But
either you are or you're not.
Seattle has gotten off to a good start. Well, I want to because now when you take a pick of something with such certainty, it has me very leery. It has me very worried. It has me very concerned. But I actually concur with you. I do think they will score the game's first touchdown, and I will buy this. But it's we might have, what do you call, buyer's remorse? Yeah, we might.
Buyer's remorse.
Number 3, there will be a defensive or special teams touchdown in Super Bowl 60. There's been one in 27 of 59 Super Bowls, and Ed Young's waving the finger. He's waving, and not the middle one. He's waving the index finger, folks. 46% hit rate. He's had a lot of middle fingers waved his direction as he moves the index finger.
Buy.
Okay. Well, would you like to tell us specifically which one it'll be, defensive or special teams? And by whom?
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to learn you.
Learn me.
There will be a defensive touchdown and a special team touchdown, both.
It'll be 2? Will they be by the same team or different teams?
I'm not going to say same team. I'm just going to say both of those are going to happen in this Super Bowl.
Well, I was liking the under, but now you're making me think it's going to be an over. So you're going to buy this.
I'm buying it.
This is too obvious to take as a yes, that because of that, I will sell it. I do not think we'll get one. I think it will be in the 20s to teens for scoring. I don't think there'll be a lot of touchdowns in this game. There might be more field goals than touchdowns in this game. What do you have to say about that?
I'd agree with you on that one.
Oh, you do?
It's not going to be high scoring. And I'm telling you, going to be one of the lowest watched Super Bowls in the history of the Super Bowl.
Okay, so when the ratings come out that Monday and say it's the 4th most watched Super Bowl, you can't say that. Yeah,
because of the commercials. That's why I'm watching it. The new
commercials. The commercials, not the halftime show.
Not going to watch that. Who's halftime? Bad Bunny?
I think that's correct.
No, if it's Janet Jackson, no question I'm watching.
Well, we know you watched that one.
Roger Rabbit, I'm not watching it. Or Bad Bunny, whoever he is. I don't know who the guy is at halftime.
Well, you'll join our commander-in-chief in that one. And the last two, the Super Bowl MVP will not be a quarterback. Quarterbacks won it more than half the time, 34 of 59 and 14 of the past 19 Super Bowls. Now, I will tell you one it's going to blow your mind. You already have your mind blown? Blown? You got to go back to the late 1990s with Terrell Davis in Super Bowl 32 for the Denver Broncos against the Green Bay Packers to find the last running back to get MVP. And I'm going to buy this because I don't think it'll be a quarterback. I don't think it's going to be Drake May or Sam Darnold. I think it's going to be Kenneth Walker of Seattle. And I think we're going to
just thinking of Walker. It's funny you mentioned that. Just thinking of Walker.
First time since the late 90s. Running backs don't get this award anymore. It's been receivers more times than quarterbacks. Than running backs, excuse me. Quarterbacks generally get it. But if it's not going to be Drake May or Sam Darnold who have the best odds, Jackson Smith and Jigba has a great chance. Receivers have won 8 of them, 2 in the last 7 years. Cooper Kupp, by the way, has been a Super Bowl MVP for Seattle, but not for the Seahawks. He did it for the Rams against the Bengals, if you remember, a few years back. That was the Super Bowl. I was flying back with the ODU women's team from Birmingham as the Super Bowl was going on, that Rams-Bengals Super Bowl. Defensive players have won it 10 times, but never before has a tight end, offensive lineman, kicker, or punter won Super Bowl MVP. I'd love to see a kicker get the MVP, wouldn't you? This would be your type of game. If it's 15-9 and the kicker has 5 field goals for the team, that would be Ed Young's pick for the MVP. So the question is, will it not be a quarterback? Buy or sell? I'm going to buy it. Are you going to sell it or are you going to buy it?
You're buying it because since you're buying it, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it. That way one of us is wrong and one of us is right.
So you're going to go with either May or Darnold to get it. Okay.
And here's why. There's going to be a buildup, as the buildup has already happened, of course, this week, to young May, great second year. He's come out of nowhere, done what Vrabel wanted. Here's Sam Darnold. He gets pounded on. Minnesota didn't want to extend him. They let him walk.
Yeah.
And if either one of those, whoever wins, whatever team wins, if that quarterback has completed 80% of their passes and had a touchdown or 2, and the announcers are talking about him, that guy's going to get it. Now, whether he deserves it's going to be another story. But
what you just said, the defense is low scoring, boring. The defenses might not allow either quarterback to have glossy numbers. And thus, as a result, it could take a receiver, a defensive player, perhaps a kicker if he makes 3, 4, or 5 field goals to be the choice for most valuable player. That's why I'm going to buy. It won't be a quarterback for the 35th time in 60 Super Bowls. And our final buy or sell. Super Bowl 60 between Seattle and New England will require overtime. Only twice before has it happened, but they have both happened in the last 10 years, Ed. Kansas City, San Francisco back in Super Bowl 58, and New England, Atlanta. And by the way, that should be Super Bowl 56, I believe, not 58 for KC and San Francisco. I'm going to double check that. I'm sorry. That is Super Bowl 58, rather. San Francisco and KC. So that was just a couple years ago. I thought it was 56, but it is 58. KC, San Francisco, just a couple years ago. New England, Atlanta. Will this be the third one to go to OT? Buy or sell?
I don't feel an overtime in this, though I think it'll be somewhat close. Probably a touchdown, maybe 10-point difference. I don't think it'll go overtime. I'll sell it. I don't think it is. I'm
going to sell too. I think this game does have blowout potential, and it would be more Seattle blowing out New England. And when I say blowout, I don't mean 45-8. Although anything's possible, I guess. Seattle did that to a Super Bowl opponent one time. Remember that one when they absolutely crushed their opposition, the Denver Broncos. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks to win probably by, 10 to 14 to 17 points, but I think it's going to be more than the 27-16, 23-13, 24-10 type of realm, maybe even 20-6 type of realm. But I don't see overtime. I don't think it's going under the wire. I don't feel that way either. So that will conclude this edition of Buy or Sell on 757 Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. All righty, Ed, that's going to wrap up the show for today. Any final parting shots or thoughts? What's on the brain here? Go get a snowball and have a fight with somebody?
Well, you got to have snow to have a snowball fight, and if it does come down, it's not going to be the wet snow. It's going to be too cold, so it'll be all that powdery stuff. What I call.
Do you have gloves? Do you have gloves?
No, I got to get me some gloves. I'm glad you mentioned that. I got to get me some gloves.
Look at me. I got the Arizona Cardinals, black and red, baby, black and red, like your old school colors.
That's not a bad. You know what that reminds me? I had a pair of Celtic black and green gloves. I don't know where they went. Did you steal them?
I didn't steal them. Did not. I got my Cardinals gloves. I'm all good. All good.
Where'd you get that? Clearance sale? Yard sale? Where'd you get those at?
No, they were gifted to me.
Oh, okay. So they got it at a yard sale.
Right. I did not get it at a yard sale. We're ready. Angry Birds. We're together. Ready to roll. That's going to do it for this episode of 757 Sports Talk. For the Coach Ed Young, I am Matthew Hatfield, and we will catch you next week in February. Getting closer to Super Bowl Sunday right here on Cova Sports TV. See you later. Kind of looks like snow to me.